So Shalom, Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. We finna go ahead and get this thing started. You know, the little grace period has ended, if not went over a bit. So if everybody want to face the east, so we can get a prayer in, so we get this thing started, kick it off to the spirit. You know, face the east. Let me know y'all ready. I will lead us in prayer. Let me know y'all ready.
Fine.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So fine. Kahalaya Howard Bahashim, Masha Omar Kalshah, first and foremost. We leave all praise on the Gordian, not the water for the Shabbat, water for your mercy for allowing us to see another Sabbath, not the water for this rest day. I just pray that Most High will have a beautiful, beautiful study session in the spirit. Most High will have a beautiful Shabbat lesson. Most High will everything is done in decent order. I pray that Most High will whatever you feel like spirit to do and say you do it. The water for his righteous sister do it. I just pray we just continue to sharpen each other's iron, exhortate one another, build one another up, correct each other, just uplift one another. The water for allowing us to have these sisters to walk on this walk with us. Most High we all with the kingdom together, and I just pray that we invent to the light of days. Like the water for for sending other people on Sunday how to shine, water for the grace spirit, which is going to give all praise on the glory to you. You know, Most High we're doing everything we can and moving this for our righteous foremost, being as righteous and blameless as possible. So that Most High and the angels are picking up our prayers to you. I just pray that you put a spirit of submissiveness, meekness, quietness, you know, feminine, gentle, loving, calm on all of me and my sister. And I just pray that Most High will allow us to learn to be silent. I just pray whatever my will be done, the water for the Sabbath. No call like Yahweh by Hashem, Masha by Kalshah. We pray for these things only and it's only in my will. Through your son Yahushua, call like Yahweh by Hashem, Masha by Kalshah. By Hashem, Masha by Kalshah. Amen.
Mighty. That's right.
Heavenly Father, y'all know this. Okay, so how y'all doing today? Y'all doing good?
Good.
Wow. So we can get this thing rolling for the spirit. So okay, let me get settled. Okay. You know, I don't know if any of y'all know this, but today we're talking about how to stay on fire as a woman. Because there's a lot of they're coming into this truth, you know, it's tough, you know, because we've been taught all these different things, this mindset, we've been brainwashed by Esau, how a woman's supposed to act. But you know, coming to this truth, having this knowledge and understanding and this milk, you know, we understand that everything we've been ever taught is wrong. So we understand that there's biblically, according to the Most High Yahweh by Hashem Al-Shai, his law, statutes, and commandments, the way a woman is supposed to act, how she's supposed to carry herself. And we want to move in the spirit of our righteous foremothers as much as possible. So we're going to dive in today about how to stay on fire as a woman, because there's a lot required as a woman, you know, understanding the roles of a woman. So we're going to dive into that, you know. And already gonna kick it off every Sabbath, every Bible study on Tuesday and Saturday. Gonna kick it off with this verse: "Let all things be done decently and in order, you know, through the Spirit." And we're gonna always kick it off with this verse right here, because nothing is wrong with a friendly reminder. Nothing's wrong with a friendly reminder, right? So we got 1 Corinthians 11, Sirach 11:8. "Answer not before thou hast heard the cause, neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk." So we just want to make sure, you know, whatever sister's speaking on the floor, we give her that time to speak, you know, then speak when she's done. You know, so we just want to make sure we've been respectful of whoever's speaking at the time. Don't cut nobody off. If you do accidentally cut a sister off, you know, apologize, keep it moving, but just be mindful. And we already know we want to be slow to speak, swift to hear. We want to make sure we're hearing the whole matter and then speaking. So we're gonna have a beautiful study session through the Spirit, Most High willing. Now we're gonna really dive into it today. So I might start it off with one precept, and I'm gonna pass the torch to somebody else. So I'm gonna start it off with this right here. We started with this right here. So this is the book of Luke, chapter 1, and verse 5. I need to, hold on, y'all. Let me move y'all over here. Y'all can see my screen, right? Okay. It's the book of Luke, chapter 1, and verse 5. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judah, a certain priest named Zacharias of the course of Abia, and his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. And they both were righteous before Yahweh, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord blameless. So first and foremost, as a woman, we need to be making sure we're walking in the commandments and ordinances of the Lord. We need to make sure we're walking in the path of the Lord, Yahweh Shema. You know, not walking in the world, not fulfilling the lust of the flesh, but fulfilling our spirit, feeding our spirit, making sure we're walking the way the Most High want us to walk. We need to first and foremost make sure as women we're doing everything we can to be righteous and blameless, as these women here spoke of as our foremothers. So we want to make sure we're moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers as much as possible, walking righteous and blameless in this thing, you know. So I just want to kick it off with that. I'm passing the torch to anybody that wants to speak.
I'm gonna get Titus chapter 2, and this is gonna be verses 3 through 5. This is basically just going into kind of the roles and what we should be doing. And it reads starting at 3. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, and to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed. That's basically just going into what we need to be doing and how we need to be acting, how we need to be leaders to women that are like just coming into the truth. We need to be an example, you know, and that's also going into, this is when it says, what did it say? To love their husbands. And, you know, basically some women, they don't, when, like Ken said earlier, we've been taught a whole lot of things in the world on how we're supposed to treat our men, our husbands. And a lot of women do not understand or like know right now. It's new to them. So this is just going into how we should be treating our husbands and how she would be loving our children and just doing stuff at home, basically.
Mighty precept. Con, we definitely have to, we talked about this on the last Sabbath call. What was it? Was it the importance of sisterhood? We talked about that we got to be a role model for our, we got to be a role model, you know, especially for the little princesses, you know, that they may teach the young women. We got to be definitely a role model for the little princesses, anywhere from the age of like a baby, 2, 3, 4. We got to be a role model, you know. So definitely the roles of a woman. We need to we're supposed to be keepers at home, you know. We're supposed to be obedient to our husbands, teach of good things, you know. So I wanted to get this precept. Sorry, I'm gonna get an Acts chapter 9. I believe it's in Acts. All right, this is the book of Acts, chapter 9, and verse 36. Now there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. The woman was full of the works and alms deeds which she did. And it came to pass in those days that she was sick and died, whom when they had washed, they laid her in an upper chamber. And forasmuch as Lydia was nigh to Joppa, and the disciples had heard that Peter was there, they sent unto him 2 men, desiring him that he would not delay to come to them. Then Peter arose and went with them. When he was come, they brought him into the upper chamber, and all the widows stood by him weeping and showing the coats and garments which Dorcas made while she was with them. But Peter put them all forth and kneeled down and prayed, and turning him to the body, said, Tabitha, arise. And she opened her eyes, and when she saw Peter, she sat up. And he gave her his hand and lifted her up. And when he had called the saints and widows, presented her alive. And it was known throughout all Joppa, and many believed in the Lord. It came to pass that he tarried many days in Joppa with one Simon, a tanner. So this sister, Tabitha, mighty sister, she was full of good work. She was good. She was full of alms deeds. Like she was helping out the nation. She was making if you skip down to verse 39, it says, stood by him weeping and showing the goats and garments which Dorcas made. So she made coats and garments for the nation. She made coats and garments for the men. She made coats and garments for Israel. And if you go to verse 37, she died. But if you skip down to verse 40, it says, Tabitha arose and she opened her eyes. When she saw Peter, she sat up. Skip down to verse 42. Many believed in the Lord. So the Most High put on this woman, this mighty foremother of ours, to be arisen again, to wake back up, to come back to life. So she a mighty sister, you know. So this is how we should be as women, you know, through the Spirit, doing good alms deeds, full of good works and alms deed, as our foremother Tabitha was. You know, it's Proverbs 31 is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful book, but it's more accounts of righteous women all throughout the scripts, and we got to attack all of them every corner. You know, we got to attack all of them. We want to move in the spirit of our righteous foremothers as much as possible. And Tabitha was full of good works. So as women in this thing, a way for us to stay on fire is be full of good works. You know, if you got a talent, use that for the nation. Use that talent to benefit the nation. Use that talent to provoke good works. Use that talent, you know, to be profitable. And that's what this sister did. She made coats and garments. You know, she was full of good alms deeds, and that's what the type of spirit we need to be moving in. You know, full of good alms deeds, and not doing things just to throw it back in somebody's face later. Not doing things because you want money. Doing it out the sincerity of your heart. Doing it because you really love your people. You want to help the nation. You want to help the ministry as much as possible. And you want to be a servant of Yahweh by Hashem, my woman like Havashah, and moving the spirit of righteous foremothers as much as possible. So I want to bring it out, passing the torch to anybody that wants to speak.
I'm gonna go. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna really read all of it. You said something about Proverbs 31. Do you want me to? I can roughly paraphrase it. Really, I don't. Would it be nice to read it or what?
Whatever's in your spirit.
I want to roughly paraphrase it. Proverbs 31 is, like you said, it is a mighty, mighty chapter. But it really just goes into how we're not supposed to be indecisive, adorn ourselves in modest apparel. Our husbands trust us. We give to the poor, charity, sewing, cooking, speaking wisdom, and not trying to be more of looks than what's in our heart. Favor is deceitful, basically. We're not supposed to be basing everything on looks. We need to worry about what's in our heart. And about the modest apparel, that's also something I believe is 1 Timothy 2:9, how we're supposed to adorn ourselves in modest apparel. Basically, that's just going in, Proverbs 31 is just going into how to be a virtuous woman. And that's what we're supposed to be. This is what we're supposed to be. Proverbs 31 to the best of our abilities. Try to the best of our abilities, basically.
I'm gonna get this precept. I love this precept. She looketh well, this is Proverbs chapter 31, verse 27. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. So as women in this thing, we can't be eating the bread of idleness. And idleness just means lazy. You know, we don't want to. Let's get that. I don't know, my stuff always in caps. Laziness, right? So we don't want to be lazy in this thing. We're not supposed to be lazy in this thing. So as women in this thing, we need to be making sure we're not being given over to idleness. And I did a video on that. It's on my YouTube. It's called "Are You About Your Father's Business?" It's basically going into not being idle. As women in this thing, we're supposed to be on fire. We're not supposed to just sit around the house. And this also says she looked well to the ways of her household. The precept Berasia put out Titus chapter 2, right? It was Titus chapter 2, verse 3-5. That also was going into how we're supposed to be keepers at home, meaning we're supposed to take care of the household. We're supposed to clean, we're supposed to cook, we're supposed to make sure the household looks good, smell good, things of that nature. No, we're not supposed to be idle in this thing. And also another precept I wanted to bring out, because as women in this thing, we just want to make sure we're, you know, because we're it's off for us to go out on the highways and byways and teach. We can't do that. We're not supposed to teach. We're just supposed to teach within our sisterhood. We're supposed to teach one another, build one another up in this thing as sisters. But it's also more to it than that. As women in this thing, let me find this verse. As women, this thing, we can't go on the highways and byways and teach. We can only teach one another as sisters, but it's also so much required as a woman to do. And we gotta tap on that, because we want to be moving in the spirit of righteous women as much as possible, making sure we're on fire as women. So this is the book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 16. As the sun, when it arises in the high heavens, so is the beauty of a good wife in the ordering of her house. So, make the ordering of our house, making sure making sure we're cleaning, making sure we're cooking, making sure the house smells good, making sure the house look good. And also, as the sun, when it arises in high heaven, so is the beauty of a good wife. It's not comely. Also, I'll drop the video on YouTube. Y'all should check it out. It's not comely for a woman to sleep in all day. It's not comely for a woman to be up all hours of the night. As women, we definitely got to work on that. Don't no man want a woman that sleep in to 3 p.m. He wake up, she ain't even got breakfast on the stove. He come home, she ain't even cook no type of lunch. She ain't even start a dinner. She get the kids running all through the house. The house smell like dog poop. Like, don't no man want a woman that sleep in all day and can't look after the household, because as women, we're supposed to look after the household. So another way for us to stay on fire as women is to make sure we're doing the duties of a woman, which is one of them as well, looking after the household. And you can't look after the household if you sleep in all day. You can't look after the household if you up to 5 a.m. and you sleep in all day. So as women, we want to be making sure we're very wise with our time, being very wise with things we do. And if you're not married yet, building the Most High working on you to mold you into that woman to be a wife, Lord, willing to present your life, because some man want a woman that's sleeping all day, and you shouldn't want that. You should want to get up and get active, be productive as a woman, and take care of your business, work on your own salvation. You shouldn't even want to be lazy. You should be getting after it. Like the ants. The ants are always moving and getting after it. We should be like the ant. So I just wanted to bring it out, because that's another way for women to stay on fire. Making sure we take care of the household. We also need to work on our sleep schedule, for real, for real. So, Con, passing the torch.
I got something. Salakia. You can go ahead.
Okay. So I want to pull out 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. Did somebody say that already? Okay. So basically, it says, in like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly array, but which cometh woman professing goodliness with good work. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. So basically what I got from that is that we should love ourselves no matter what, which is kind of hard in this generation, but we should love ourselves, and not just by our looks, but on the inside. I don't know if I wrote it right,
Like we said in our last Sabbath Bible study, we talked about modesty. We touched on what's modest and what's not, because like Aquila brought out, there's no like guideline, there's no rule book, but through the Spirit, we know what's absolutely unacceptable and acceptable to wear, as a woman in this thing. But modesty is first and foremost a spiritual thing. We want to look at our spirit, we want to check our spirit. And that's a beautiful precept, because we want, when I say check our spirit, we want to make sure we're moving in the spirit of righteous foremost as much as possible. We want to make sure we're moving in the spirit of Tabitha. We want to make sure we're moving in the spirit of Miriam. We want to make sure we're moving in the spirit of Mary. We want to make sure we're moving in these type of spirits of our righteous foremothers. All these examples we have, we want to make sure we're moving in the spirit of a Proverbs 31 woman. Because modesty is something you got to achieve in the spirit first before you can even attempt to achieve it on the outside. So Khan, all praises for that. Mighty precept. Aquila, wasn't you gonna say something?
Con.
Go ahead.
I wanted to get the book of Judith, chapter 8. And I'm gonna start at verse 4. So Judith was a widow in her house 3 years and 4 months, and she made her tent upon the top of her house and put sackcloth upon her loins and wear widow's apparel. And she fasted all the days of her widowhood, save the eves of the Sabbath and the Sabbaths and the eves of the new moons and the new moons and the feasts of the solemn days and of the house of Israel. She was also of a goodly countenance and was very beautiful to behold, and her husband Manasseh had left her gold and silver and men servants and maid servants and cattle and lands, and she remained upon them. And there was none that gave her an ill word, for she feared the Most High greatly. So Judith was a very was one of our righteous foremothers, and she, like, I feel like I say it a lot, like Judith, she fasted every day except for Sabbaths, new moons, and high holy days. So when we fast, we know that we have a more connection with the Most High, like we're closer to the Most High. So imagine how close Judith was with the Most High. And a lot of times, I feel like something that we forget being in this truth is how we need to have a relationship with the Father. It's not just about keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, but we need to have a relationship with the Most High and be like, First Thessalonians, I think it's 5:27, like pray without ceasing, right? And Judith, they said in verse 7 that she was beautiful to behold. She was beautiful, but at the same time, it doesn't matter how beautiful you are. If you have a wicked spirit on you, you're not beautiful, and a righteous man doesn't want someone with a wicked spirit on them. So, and also no one could say anything bad about her. And I don't want to spoil the book of Judith, but when she had, she gave. That's what I'm gonna say, because I know a sister who's reading the book right now. So I don't want to but when she had, she gave. So she was humble, and she was a widow, so she humbled herself before the Most High, and she fasted a lot. So I feel like we need to look up to Sister Judith and really see that, because she was a beautiful sister on the inside and outside.
That was a Yappa point, because she definitely was. We're gonna imagine how beautiful she was for her, because it's also spoken of, I think it's Judith chapter 10 or something like that, when it said they stared at her beauty or something like that, Isn't it Judith chapter 10 verse 8? I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about? Like they and we can only imagine how beautiful she was, but she was also beautiful in the spirit as well. And since you brought that out, I wanted to bring this out because this is the book of Luke chapter 2 verse 36. And there was one Anne, a prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel of the tribe of Asher. She was of a great age and had lived with her husband 7 years from her virginity. And she was a widow of about 4 years, which departed not from the temple, but served Yahweh with fasting and prayers night and day. So this mighty sister, she kind of like Judith, a widow and serving the Most High with prayers and fasting all day. And that's how we need to be, moving in the spirit of righteous foremothers as much as possible, serving the Most High with prayers and fasting, making sure we're working on our own salvation and doing what's required of us as women. But our foremothers, they was about our Father's business. They didn't play about the Most High. And we can read about that in Exodus. I'm going to grab it in a minute. They didn't play about the Most High. It was about their Father's business. And that's how we need to be. That's how we need to be, serious about our Father's business, not playing about the Most High, because, she was a prophetess as well. So the Most High had the spirit on her, but she was a prophetess. But she was serving the Most High, Yahweh, through his son, Yahweh Shah, with fasting and prayers night and day, just like Judah, fasting each day, except the high holy days and Sabbath. So, we want to make sure we're moving in that spirit, staying on fire as women, making sure we're fasting as much as possible, making sure we're reading as much as possible, making sure we're studying as much as possible. And you know how much your spirit can go. You know how much, how much you can go, but you want to make sure you're not being honest and make sure you're really doing the works for it, like our foremothers was. That's another way for us to stay on fire, make sure we're building up our spirit in this thing. Because most are willing, if y'all are married, if you're not, and if it's in your life to be married, how are you going to uphold your man when he's feeling down? How are you going to uplift him through the spirit and give him precepts if you're not in the spirit? If you're not doing the works, making sure you're working out your own salvation, making sure you're on fire as a woman, how can you even help a man? How can you help your sisterhood? How can you help your sisters that are feeling down when you're not even, making sure you're doing the works and making sure you're in the spirit? How can you uplift them? So you want to make sure you're doing what's required of you as a woman. And I want us to get this real quick, and I'm gonna pass the torch. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 15, and verse 20. I also want to make sure you're moving in the spirit of Miriam. And Miriam, another prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels and with dances. And Miriam answered them, "Sing ye to the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea." So I didn't know what a timbrel was. When I first read this, which was like months ago. I was like, "What's a timbrel?" That's the things that be in the movies. You know, y'all see my screen? That's some things that be in the movies. So you don't know, like, ain't no telling how many women went out there. It just says, you know, all the women went out. There's no telling how many all was. But, you know, like Napalm said in his video, it only takes one righteous woman to set the example. And us being in his truth, we got to be on fire through the Spirit, on fire for the Lord, and set an example. As we spoke of in our last Sabbath video, we got, and I mean on our Tuesday Bible study, we got to be an example. We got to set an example. We got to continue to be that light and allow the Most High to use us as vessels. But you know, making sure we're being humble in this thing. We got to be that light. Because she picked up the timbrel, started praising the Lord. Everybody else went out after her and started praising the Lord. So we want to make sure as women in this thing, we're praising the Lord with our sisters, you know, in righteousness. All it takes is one righteous sister to set a whole movement. So we want to make sure we're congregating in righteousness. We want to make sure that we're praising the Lord, we're rejoicing in the Lord, and being on fire for the Lord. Now, they want to rejoice. They want to rejoice. They didn't say, let's go hit the club. They didn't say, let's go hit the street corner. They said, let's go rejoice. Let's go rejoice and sing praise to the Lord. Let's get a timbrel and praise the Lord. And that's what we should be doing as women in these things. Being on fire for the Lord and praising him because he deserves it. So I want to bring that out and, you know, again, passing the torch.
Tambourine. A timbrel is a tambourine. You never seen the women in the church with the tambourines banging on it?
This is what I Googled. If you was looking at the screen, I Googled this. I said,
No, I saw it. I'm just saying, it's a tambourine. You never seen that before?
What is a tambourine? You talking about the little things
The
that look like
little
air?
old little ladies in the church.
It's like where you get in church and you go like,
right, and they be banging it hard. They be banging it on their hips and stuff.
oh, yeah. Like it goes. You go like this. Like this is where you keep the tambourine.
That's a tambourine.
Oh.
Like when they start jumping around and stuff, and they
okay, y'all. Okay.
I was thinking that when you showed, I was like, you ain't never seen no tambourine before.
Right.
When you said tambourine, I'm thinking you talking about the things that be thrown out in the jungle, like the
what?
A frisbee?
Are you?
Dang, if anything, I was thinking about an orange when you said tambourine.
What?
Oh,
orange?
My gosh.
Because that's
Wait,
Kinsey, were you thinking about
that's
how
a
you say it in
tangerine.
Spanish?
Yeah,
I have to send you a video of someone using it in church after this. I'll have to send you. You'll know what it is when you see the video.
Into the group chat.
But they shake it like this, and they bang their hands up. It goes with the music, kind of like the drums.
Talking about, but I just need to see it. But,
I'll send it to you after this.
Aquila talking about some orange. A tangerine.
I got the fruits mixed up too.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm finna get. Did anybody want to pull something? Anybody have a precept or something they want to say? Something they want to like point out before I go to the next precept?
You know the script, Talakia. The water says, you know the script in Sirach, or no, not in Sirach, in Ecclesiastes, the preacher, he says, vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. So I feel like a lot of times, I feel like we keep touching the topic, like we can't be worrying so much about how we look, because if we're worrying so much about how we look and we're spending hours in the mirror to get ready, like that will put a spirit on you. Like, you know, everyone knows their spirit, but advice I could give is if you feel like you look at yourself too much, I would just say, just steer away from a mirror. I mean, make sure you're put together, you know, but like steer away from a mirror, because we don't want to have that spirit to be taken over into that, because in Romans, the 1st chapter, like the Most High, he can give us over to the lust of our mind. So if we're always thinking about like our apparel or how we look, like the Lord can give us over to that, and we don't want that. So we have to more focus on our spirit and you know, check our spirit and stuff, and stop spirits at the door when they're trying to hop on us, because we don't want to get caught up in vanity.
All right, I wanted to bring some out real quick. And definitely we want to stop spirits at the door by making sure we have the whole armor of the Most High Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach like Havashah on. And to make sure we have his whole armor on. It's like it. To stop them demons at the door and fight them. But I want to bring some out. It's the book of 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 1, and it reads, I'm gonna start at verse 1. I charge thee therefore before Yahweh and the Lord Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing in his kingdom. Preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. So like the sister Aquila just brought out, we don't want to be given over to our own wickedness, lust. We don't want to be given over to our own lust. So we just want to make sure, we're stopping these spirits at the door and really self-examine ourselves. Another way for us to be on fire as women is to really sit back and self-examine and like truly, me and Kai did a live on that. It's on our Instagram and on my YouTube if y'all want to check it out. We want to make sure another way for us to stay on fire as women is to self-examine ourselves. Okay, we can look back and see, okay, how can I go harder for the Lord? How can I be a better servant unto the Most High? How can I help the ministry more? You want to ask yourself these questions as women. How can I, be profitable unto the ministry? How can I help the ministry more? How can I put my talents to good works? How can I be better for my sisters? If you're married, how can I be a better wife? If you're not married, how can I be a better servant of the Most High? How can I submit myself to the more? You get what I'm saying? These are questions we need to be asking ourselves. So this is 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves whether you be in the faith, prove your own selves, know ye not your own selves, how the Yahweh Mashiach is in you, except we be reprobate. So we want to examine ourselves, make sure we're really moving in the spirit, making sure we're checking our spirit always, making sure, because I was telling Kaya, I was telling her earlier, I was like, I think I'm too hard on myself. But I just gotta pray it off. But something I told Kaya, I was like, well, something I said like as if I'm not gonna be hard on myself, who is? But maybe I just need to definitely pray on that. But I be hard on myself. I'm always asking myself, okay, how can I be better? How can I do this? But like Aquila said, we don't want to have that perfectionist spirit in the truth. We don't want to have that perfectionist spirit in the truth. But it's always good to ask yourself, how can I be better? How can I do this better? How can I go harder? We really want to self-examine. It's something me and my king do. We try to have self-examination night once a week. We've been slacking, but we'll have self-examination night every once in a while. We'll just talk and write down how we can go harder, what we need to work on. And as women, we definitely need to do that. Okay. I don't know why you're smiling. We want to make sure that we're self-examining and writing down how we can be better, how we can go harder, just how we can be better servants and better women. The Most High has called us in this truth for a reason. He has brought us into this truth. He has removed the darkness out of our eyes. We're not spiritually drunk anymore. He got us in this truth for a reason. So we need to be asking ourselves, how can we fulfill the will of the Most High? How can we walk in the ordinance of the Lord the way He wants us to walk in them? So asking ourselves those type of questions, because those type of questions we need to be asking ourselves. So yeah. I'm passing the torch. Angelica looking at me.
I had a precept for what was it? For Acts. I'm talking about Tabitha. So it's Tobit chapter 12, verse 8. Prayer is good with fasting and alms and righteousness. A little righteousness is better than much with unrighteousness. It is better to give alms than to lay up gold. For alms doth deliver from death, and shall purge away all sin. Those that exercise alms and righteousness shall be filled with life. That's y'all can hear me, right?
Beautiful precept.
Okay.
That's a beautiful precept, Mercedes. But we prayer is definitely doing faster. So as women, we want to make sure we're fasting this thing, throwing up them prayers. I hope all of y'all are praying at the hour of prayer 3 p.m. I know every single one of y'all on here, I be texting, it's our prayer, it's our prayer. I try to do my best anyways, but I definitely want to make sure we're throwing up the prayers at the hour of prayer, which is 3 p.m. But definitely we want to make sure we're doing alms. It's better to give alms than lay up gold. So we definitely want to make sure we're doing so let me get this real quick on the book of First John. But something I have a problem with, something I had a problem in the world that I struggle still have this problem with, just being honest and transparent. When I was I used to have a problem with, if someone wanted to help me, like, no, I now help me, give me money if I needed it. I used to always, because I've been working since I was 15 and I'm 18 now, so I've always had a job, and I haven't had a job since June. And I've always been the type, I don't want no one helping me. I don't want your money. I've always been that type. And now I'm in the truth. And now, because I had the independent spirit, now I'm in the truth. Like, if someone asks me, hey, you need help carrying this? I'm going to say yes. Like, yes, I need help carrying this. But something about when someone's trying to give me money, I just always be like, no. But something Zaria told me is, if someone has the means to help you and they want to help you, you need to let them, because arms deliver from death. And we want to get that person as close to salvation as much as possible. And that's something she said that really stuck with me. So, if someone's offering to help you, like, don't be like me and be like, no, because that's powerful. Like, you ain't got it. You clearly need help. So if someone's offering to help you, take it, because good arms live from death. And you want to get that person as close to salvation as much as possible, like Azaria told me. So that was something beautiful that she said, and it just stuck with me. Like, someone's trying to help you, let them. And if you got the means to help someone else, help them. And alms is not always about sending money. Alms is when your sister's down, like we said, the importance of sisterhood in our Tuesday Bible said, when your sister down, dropping everything to pray for her, dropping everything to be there for her. When your sister down, doing everything you can to uplift her, send her script. That's also alms. Alms is not always just about giving money, because sometimes you don't got it. I definitely don't. So my alms right now is just going to be being the best sister I can, uplifting you when you need it, sending you precepts when you need it, because that's alms as well. But I wanted to get something real quick. That's the spirit, because I landed right on it. This is the book of First John chapter 3 and verse 17. But whoso hath the world's good and seeth his brother have need and shutteth up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of Yahweh in him? So if you got the means to help someone and you see that your sister's in need and you don't help her, how's the Most High Yahweh Shall dwell in you? That's not the how is he dwelling in you? He can't be dwelling in you. So if you got the means to help your sister, help her through the spirit. You don't want to shut up your compassion about. You don't want to have that spirit. It ain't got nothing to do with me. She better figure it out. Shoot, she better call upon the name of the Lord. I got it, but I ain't got it. I got it, but I ain't got it. You don't want to have that spirit. You don't want to have that spirit. So I just wanted to bring it out. Beautiful precept, Mercedes. But like the sister, like she said, she brought out Tobit, and like I pulled out earlier in Acts, we want to make sure we're moving in the spirit of doing good alms deed, helping as much as we can, just helping our people, helping them, being helpful to the ministry, just being a better woman, y'all, for real, for real. I'm passing the torch because I feel like I talk too much.
I have a precept for that. So when you are giving alms and stuff, it's always good to give enough, because I just learned this like a couple weeks ago, but when you're trying to help your sister or whatever, it's literally commanded to us to help that person as much as they ask for. Now, obviously, if you ain't got it, then but if you have it, we are commanded to literally give it. And that's Deuteronomy Chapter 15, verse you can start at 7, but it goes into 8, and I'll read it. All right, so Deuteronomy 15:7, it says, if there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates in thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother, but thou shalt open thy hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need in that which he wanteth. So that when it says thou shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need, if a sister says, hey, I need $20 to make dinner for my family or something like that, whatever the case is, and you just give her 10, knowing you got the 20 and then some, then you going off. It's literally commanded right there in the Torah, in Deuteronomy. You need to give them enough for what they have if you have it. Now, obviously, if you only got $10 to your name, then use wisdom, but it's literally commanded to us to give that brother, that sister, whatever the case is, sufficient for his need. And I yield.
I yield. But kind, that's a beautiful precept, like for real. Kind of got me thinking over here, but kind of like if a sister, let me check this chat. If a sister asks you for $30 and you got the whole, and you got a roll of 50, and you say, well, I'm gonna just give her 10. I need this $40 to go get my nails did. That's off. The Lord not dealing with that. The Lord is not dealing with that. So you want to make sure you're helping out as much as you can. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 8 and verse 33. I'm gonna just bite off what Kaya said. And it reads, hold on. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 7. My bad. 7. Bear with me. You gotta bear. It's the book of the Sirach, chapter 7, verse 32. And stretch thine hand unto the poor, that thy blessing may be perfected. So when you walking, because we know that these curses is real. So if, say for instance, you walk down the street, and one of our people, they're homeless, and they come up to you, and they ask you for some money, and you be like, nah, bro, I ain't got it. Knowing you got it. You on vacation, what you mean you ain't got it? If they ask you for something and you got it, give it to them. That's the right thing to do. We're commanded to do that. Stretch thy hand unto the poor, thy blessing may be perfected. It's playing up on tables. We want to help out our people as much as you can. We want to really do good alms in this thing, because the Lord sees everything. The Lord remembers everything. We're gonna be repaid for our walk. We're gonna be rewarded for our words. On Judgment Day, everything we've done, every little thing we say, we're gonna have to pay for that. So if you see someone in need, especially on the street, or one of our people, just the curses, and they ask you for something, and you got it, then help them, help the poor. Now, as women in this thing, we definitely gotta do good alms deeds, give alms. So we don't want to be stingy. We don't want to have that selfish spirit, because the Lord, He sees that. Hey, the Lord, vengeance is the Lord's. The Lord gonna pay you back. If you out here being stingy, you don't want to help your people, you don't want to give good alms deed, you want to check yourself, because the Lord can take His spirit from you. Or you just don't play with the Lord. The Lord is a man of war. Don't play with the Lord. So we want to make sure we're giving good alms in this thing, as we're supposed to, as women in this thing, for real. So I yield.
You're trying to be funny.
Anybody have anything they want to bring out or say?
So one thing that the Most High has been putting on my spirit is that like Mackenzie was saying, giving alms is not just giving money, but we need to be exhorting our sisters more. And one thing that Paul speaks about in Romans, or he speaks about it more, but the chapters that I was reading, that it was like sticking with me, was Romans 14 and 15. We have to give ourselves to the edification of our sisters. We're not supposed to be edifying brothers, like we were talking about earlier, but we got to be trying to exhort sisters. And even if if you take some notes down because you're studying, what does it take you to send those notes to a sister, or if a sister's dealing with this demon, watching a video that is talking about that, how to get through that, and then sending her those notes. Because one thing that Sirach said in the Prologue of Ecclesiastes is that, or let me get that. Ecclesiastes, this is the prologue, and it says, I'm gonna just start, and whereof not only the readers must need become skillful themselves, but also they that desire to learn be able to profit them which are without. So we don't only learn for ourselves, we learn so that we're able to teach our or help our sisters when they're in need. If a sister's coming to you, like Mackenzie was saying, dropping everything to be able to send that sister precepts, or while you're in the midst of giving her that counsel, the Lord puts it on your spirit to be able to counsel her with the scripts you have in your that he's allowed you to remember. So like, we just want to remember that too. Like, we all go through it, and we can't let Satan put that spirit upon us that makes us just totally ignore our sisters. It's okay to take some time, but we also have to remember that not everything's about us, and our sisters are going through it too. So I yield.
Wait, what precept did you just pull?
It was in the prologue of Sirach. It's like right here.
Con. I got you. But like Aquila said, it's okay to take some time to yourself, but you also gotta remember the sisters that need you. But I'm like, it's okay to take time for yourself. Like, I mean, I'm gonna say that for sure, because you know, it's just okay to take time for yourself, especially when you need to spend a long time with the Most High. But don't just, like I said like we said in our Bible study, what was it, like Tuesday? Don't just ghost your sisters. Let them know, hey, I need some time to myself. You know, I'm gonna take a few days to regroup. I get back up with y'all. You know, still call me if you need anything, but I already need some alone time to Most High. Let them know, communicate, so they don't feel like you ghost them, because we are in this truth now. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a crybaby now. You know, I cry for sure. I will be butthurt if I see you on Instagram and you text me back. I will be upset. Like, I know she's doing that. I know she's saying one thing. You know, I ain't gonna jump to conclusions now. I'm like, dang, like I showed it, text her, she okay? Like, you know, you don't want your sister to feel like you ignoring them. You know, you don't want your sister to feel like you ignoring them, because I be feeling some type of way if my sister ain't texting back in a certain amount of time. Like, what are you doing? I miss you. Hello. But, you know, just want to make sure you communicate with your sisters. Hey, I love y'all. Let me know if you need anything, but I need some alone time to myself. You just don't want to ghost your sisters. You also don't want Satan to make you feel like just to ignore them. So, but that is the spirit, because Aquila brought out something that I was finna say. This book is Sirach, chapter 33 and verse 17. Consider that I labor not for myself only, but for all them that seek learning. So, you know, as women in this thing, another way for us to be on fire, we got to build our sisters up in this thing. Like we said in our Importance of Sisterhood Bible study, we supposed to be sharpening each other's iron. We're supposed to be correcting each other, uplifting one another, comforting one another, being there for one another. So when we're studying, when we're reading, we're not just obtaining this knowledge and understanding for ourselves. We're doing this, like I said, we're not laboring for just ourselves. We're doing this so we can spread the knowledge and wisdom to our sisters around us. We're doing this so we see sisters to go off like, hey sis, did you know about this? You know, educating her so she don't go off no more. You know, we're increasing in this knowledge and understanding, not just for ourselves, but for our sisters as well, so we can build each other up, so we can exhortate one another, so we can sharpen each other's iron. You get what I'm saying? So that's how we need to be on women. So like, that's how we need to be as women in this thing as well, building one another up in this thing, making sure we're doing the works, making sure we're moving in the spirit of righteous foremothers, making sure we're staying on fire, so we can build our sisters up. So I yield. If anyone wants to say something, floor.
I just wanted to emphasize on a point that I had made in Deuteronomy 15:7-8, because Aquila and my beautiful sister Abaria, is it Baria?
Iberia Alicia.
So you got to say it more so it can stick. Okay. But they make really good points, like, and I know well, everybody knows, well, I hope everybody knows that, like, alms isn't, of course, just giving money or whatever. So when the precept said, thou shalt give, you know, that brother or sister of sufficient for their need, like, a sister can be poor in spirit, because you can be physically poor, financially poor, whatever the case is, but you can definitely be poor in spirit. So your sister's poor in spirit, you need to make sure you're giving her sufficient of her need, you know, praying for that sister, praying with her, praying for her, giving her precepts, you know, giving her notes you had, you know, having empathy, just being a nice person in general, helping them out if you've been in that certain situation. Even if you haven't been in that situation, some people just need somebody to talk to, literally just to vent. You ain't got to say nothing. You just, dang, that's crazy. wow. Well, you know, I'm gonna be praying for you. You know, here's some precepts. You know, I knew somebody who had a similar situation and whatever. Just make sure that you're giving them sufficient for their need, whether it's spiritual, physical, etc. And I yield.
That's a beautiful point, because she could be low in the spirit. Like, you don't want to be that sister when a sister hits you up for counsel and you just hit her with the dry, I'm praying for you, keep enduring. Like, what is that? And your spirit gonna know you tripping. Your spirit gonna tell you, send them precepts, quit playing. And your spirit gonna be vexed because you know you need to be uplifting that sister. Don't just be that sister that hit her with a quick, keep enduring, the Lord got you. Send her precepts. Send her precepts and build her up through the spirit, because you want somebody to do that for you. You get what I'm saying? So supposed to be loving one another as we love ourselves, and you want somebody to uplift you through the spirit. So I yield.
I have something to say. So we know, I think it's Mark chapter 4 and verse 11. Let's see. I think it's 11 and 4. Mackenzie, you know that precept I think you pulled out the other day, on our last Sabbath lesson? Okay, Khan, all praises. So Mark chapter 11 and verse 24. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. So if you feel like you're having trouble like reaching out to sisters, or exhorting sisters, or counseling sisters, just pray on it. Ask sisters to pray on it for you. Like, the Lord, you'll literally, the more you pray, and like, remember what James chapter 1, I think it's verse 6 says, like, when we pray, nothing wavering, right? Like, when we pray, we have to have faith that the Almighty God of Israel can answer our prayers and allow us and help us in that thing that we are wanting help on. So like, you'll see, like I'm telling you, like, you'll see, once you pray on it, the Lord will make way for you to like bear that fruit, or to be able to be better at counseling, whatever you want to do.
And she not lying. Mighty precept, all praise to Most High. She not lying, because for y'all that know me, or talk to me on a day-to-day basis, y'all know that throughout the summer, what time did I go to sleep? Y'all know. Did I even sleep? I didn't sleep. Like, for real. Say, come on, Kyle. What time did I sleep, bro?
6 a.m.
Like, that was my bedtime. If that, like, I was going to sleep at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and I would sleep in all the way until 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5. I would sleep in. But now, and honestly, I was doing this all my senior year, because I have virtual online school. I came into the truth around February of my senior year. Even up until like the whole time I've been in the truth, I was staying up late, going to sleep late, just sleeping in all day. It wasn't up until literally August when I came to Houston. I kid you not, it wasn't up until August when I came to Houston on August 15th, I moved in. It wasn't up until that week I started going to bed around 8, 9 p.m. and started waking up at 7 a.m. It wasn't until like just the week after I started going to bed around, then I started going to bed around 1 a.m. My sleep schedule was tripping. My sleep schedule was slipping, but I was still waking up at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. And I was telling Aquila, I was like, that's catching up. Going to bed late and waking up early, that started to beat my butt. So these past couple of days, I've been going to bed at 11 p.m., 12 a.m., and I wake up around 7 or 8 or 9, whatever the most I put on my spirit to wake up at. And it's crazy because most of the time I set an alarm just because most of the time I wake up before the alarm. Like, I set an alarm for 8 a.m. Most of the time I already be up. And if I'm up, usually if I'm up, I'll take like a quick nap. But now I don't wake up no later than 9:30. And it was crazy because last night, I usually stay up on the Sabbath, but last night I was knocked out at 12 a.m. and I woke up at 9 a.m. Then went back to sleep, woke up at 10 a.m. So that just goes to show you got to have faith in your prayer, and whatever you pray for, you got to believe that you're receiving, because I prayed, and once I realized that it wasn't common for a woman to stay up all hours of the night and sleep in, I prayed for this, I prayed for it, and now the Most High has blessed me with it. So that's just my quick testimony, because y'all have seen that firsthand. Like I used to stay up and y'all seen it firsthand. I used to stay up at like 8, 9 a.m., sleep in all day. And now I'm going to bed on time, waking up early. And that's just the Most High Spirit. And that's just having faith in my prayer. And that's how we got to be. We got to know that, you know, whatever you're praying for, the Most High will give it to you. You just got to have faith in it. You got to know that. So I just want to share my little quick testimony because you got to have faith in your prayer. And when you want something, the Most High know you want it. You got to stay fervent in prayer for it. Because I really wanted to know. I genuinely wanted to stop staying up all night. I really wanted to start, you know, moving the spirit of my foremothers, waking up early, cleaning and stuff like that. So I prayed for it, and I got it. So when we pray, we got to have faith in our prayers and believe and know that we'll receive them through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, HaMashiach, So I just wanted to share that real quick. Definitely got to have faith in our prayer.
I wanted to bring something out too, because Mackenzie was talking about how going to sleep late, waking up early was catching up. And it really does catch up, you know. And sometimes though, like this brother brought out in the video, he was like, you know, sisters staying up late and waking up early. I'm not saying go to sleep at 5 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 7 a.m. That's not being prudent or like using wisdom. So, but like, you know, maybe it does, like whatever you go through on a day-to-day basis, when you get home, you got to get that reading and studying in. Even if you got to stay up later than you would like to, well, you got to do what you got to do. And, you know, just pray to the Most High for that just balance, because, you know, don't get too hard on yourself if you're like going to sleep late and, you know, like all praise to the Most High, you're still waking up early. Yeah, it does catch up. It does catch up to you, but like you just got to pray for that just balance, and, you know, don't like be too hard on yourself.
I have a precept for Mark 11. So it's James 5, verse 15. And the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Lord shall raise him up. And if he have committed sins, they shall be forgiven him. Yeah, they shall be forgiven him.
You want to break that down, BFF?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I can break that down, to be honest. I feel like, I don't know, maybe someone can help me.
Basically talking about how strong a prayer faith is. How prayer is strong and faith is strong, because, you know, I feel like prayer and faith go hand in hand for real, because I mean, in order to have faith, you need to be praying and obviously have works. But, you know, if you're praying without faith, then there's really no point. So, and that could save the sick, like it says right there. And we all know that the Lord bringeth up and brings down. So, yeah, just got to make sure that we're having the faith and having that prayer of faith to save us out of our troubles, or to grant us the desires of our hearts that are in righteousness, of course.
And now I forgot what I was going to say. We already know Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 6. Without faith, it's impossible to please the Most High. So, gotta have that faith, y'all. I'm gonna bring this out real quick, and then I'm gonna go to another precept. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give to the desires of thine heart. So we need to be delighting ourselves in the Lord as women in this thing. And what does delight mean? Because I sleep, I forgot. Don't laugh. Please greatly. So we need to be pleasing the Lord. And we already know that it's a beautiful sight in the Most High eyes when we keep his law, statutes, and commandments. So we need to be pleasing the Lord with everything we do, making sure we're speaking with wisdom, making sure we're speaking how women should speak. You know, talking with wisdom, not only being modest physically, but spiritually, carrying ourselves as women should, as daughters of Zion should, you know, pleasing the Lord. You know, meaning we please the Lord by keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. We please the Lord when we're walking in his ordinances. We please the Lord when we act as women should act. So we just need to make sure we're pleasing the Lord, doing what's required of us as women. He will give us the desires of our heart in righteousness. We got to know that the Lord knows what we need, according to Matthew chapter 6. Let me get that real quick. Lord already knows what he needs, but something that this sister Lily brought out on her YouTube channel, which y'all should go check her out, Mighty channel. I'll pull her up in a minute. But this is the book of Matthew chapter 6, verse 8. Be not ye therefore like unto them, for your father knoweth what things ye have need of before you ask him. So how she said it, which was very beautiful, like the Lord already knows what we need before we ask him. The Lord already knows what we need before we ask him. He just want to see is we gonna be humble enough to humble ourselves to him and ask him. The Lord already know what we need. He just want to see if we're gonna come to him about it. You know, you don't have that proud spirit. I ain't asking him nothing. He know what I need. He better give it to me. No, what you need to do is humble yourself down and go to the Lord and humble yourself and call upon the name of the Most High. How about Shema Shah? I wanted to bring it up, bring it out, and also wanted to let me pull up our YouTube real quick, just real quick. So y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all need to go check our channel out, Mighty Sister Spirit. This sister right here. And this was a beautiful poem, by the way. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and play it. Can y'all hear it? All right, give me 1 second. Can y'all hear it now?
That I wanted to share with y'all, and one of y'all like it. Light, no, light. This affliction, yea, this pain. I sit and I ask myself, why am I going through these things? Is it because of vain strife? Or is it because of vain glory? Or is it because one day I'll get to share this story with a sister just like me who's in mourning, fasting and praying, just hoping that she'll endure this trial, yea, this tribulation, which altogether is working on her patience, because sometimes she gets impatient, but patience bringing experience, and experience bringing hope, and hope maketh not ashamed, that we cry unto our Father, Yahweh, through this affliction, yea, this pain. Now I know why I'm going through these things. La'ah is not in vain, but that I may share my story of my hurt and my pain, and how I endured through these things, to let another sister know, because you are chosen, affliction is something that just can't be avoided. Yea, this affliction, yea, this pain.
Oh no, not the church service. Wait a minute. What is this? This is madness.
She said, this is madness. See that?
But I wanted to bring that out. Y'all should check our channel, but it's a beautiful poem. Like we said earlier, the things we go through is just not for ourselves. Like we said in our other Bible study, y'all be surprised with the similar things we go through. Like you might be going through something and you might be going through something, and then a week later the sister hit you up. She going through the exact same thing you was dealing with. It's crazy how the Lord works. So we just want to, excuse me, so like you're thirsty. We just want to, it's crazy how the Lord works. So, like we pulled earlier, the laboring we're doing, it's not just for us. The studying we're doing is not just for us. We're doing it to build our sisters up. Wait a minute. Hold on. So the things we go through, the studying and reading we do, it's not just for ourselves. It's also to build our sisters up. The sisters that's dealing with affliction, is to build them up as well. And that's how we can stay on fire in this thing, building our sisters up, asking yourself, how can I be a better sister? How can I be a better servant? If you're a wife, how can I be a better wife? And there's a precept I want to get real quick. Give me 1 second while I find it. Hope y'all Sabbath going good though.
I'm sad it's almost over.
Man, me too. This don't make no type of sense.
I know. Sabbath is so like it's so yappa.
What that is?
Prayer line.
Kind, mighty.
Oh, fun.
Y'all, I'm looking for a precept. Maybe it'll be this. Where will I
I'm
find it?
looking for Sirach 34:9.
I don't know. That's not what I'm looking for, but I'm gonna bring it out just because you brought it out. Hold on.
Okay.
Have faith, I will find this precept.
That's right.
Okay. 34:9 sounds clear though. Let's see what that's what they can know. Sorry, y'all. Ignore my raggedy fan. Who's ghetto behind school? You said Sirach 34:9?
On to like verse 11.
Oh, okay, kind. Okay, that's the precept. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm trying to find this precept. It's about another mighty woman of the Lord. Full of good works. Hold on. We need to be full of good works in this thing. If not, I'm just gonna bring some myself. I got all these sticky notes in my Bible. Oh, I found it. Y'all, I found it.
See
Okay.
that?
Praises.
Okay.
Praises.
Okay, so I found it. So let me bring this out first. So this is book Sirach 34 and verse 9. A man that have travailed knoweth many things, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom. He that have no experience knoweth little, but he that hath travailed is full of prudence. When I travailed, I saw many things, and I understand more than I can express. Let's switch travailed. A little slow, okay, so basically been through affliction. So it's like what we said our last Bible study. How can you grow if you never been through that? How can you learn if you never been through that? And like y'all, some of y'all already know this, but when I got out of quarantine last Saturday, that Sunday and that Monday, boy, I was catching hell. It was like it was kind of the best 2 days of my life. Like I was learning so much, and I was trying to kind of enjoy it at the same time. It was just crazy. Like I called my dad crying on Sunday, and I called Mercedes crying on Monday. But you know, how you gonna learn? How you gonna learn if you don't go through that? How you gonna learn if the Most High don't see you through the fire? How are you gonna grow in this thing as women if you don't never go through nothing? So you know, we you that have no experience, you know little. But if you've been through stuff, you got experience, you're gonna have a lot of wisdom on you. Also want to make sure you're humble in this thing, but you know, beautiful precept she brought out. But let me get this real quick. Because as women in this thing, you know, we want to make sure we're full of good words. And this is the book of Romans chapter 16 and verse. Let me go ahead and Google this word up because okay. This is the book of Romans chapter 16 and verse 1. Start at verse 1. I commend unto you Phoebe, our sister, which is a servant of the church, which is at Cenchrea. That ye receive her in the Lord as becometh saints, and that ye assist her in whatsoever business she have need of you, for she hath been a succorer of many and of myself also. Let's see if I'm pronouncing that right. Oh, that sound like that. But succor means assistant and support in times of hardship and distress. Give assistance or need too. So this mighty sister Phoebe, she was assisting in any way she can. She was giving needs in any way she can. She was helping out in any way she can. And it goes to say, greet Priscilla and Aquila, my helpers at Hamashiach, Karashah, who have for my life laid down their own necks, unto whom not only I give thanks, but also all the churches of the Gentiles. Likewise, greet the church that is in their house. Salute my well-beloved Penitence, who is the first fruits of Achaia unto Hamashiach. So that's just mighty. Like he said, whatever they need, you need to help them. Like what, you know, let me read it again. Assist her in whatever business she had need of. So he's saying whatever she need, help her because she's helped us. So that's how we need to be as women in this thing. You know, being a succorer, being a succorer. Succorer, okay. Being a succorer of many, meaning giving assistance in any way we can, helping out the nation and ministry in any way we can, helping out your sister in any way you can. You know, being a help in any way you can, because we want to be full of good arms. We want to help out any way we can, and not just doing it just throw it back in somebody's face. Doing it because not only because we're commanded to, but because you genuinely, sincerely want to. You got to be sincere in this thing because you sincerely, genuinely want to. And also, Priscilla and Aquila, Paul is saying they have laid down they done laid down their necks. So that's how we need to be led, like we said in our Importance of Sisterhood Bible study. You wanna be that type of sister. Are you gotta put your life on the line? Like, are you willing to put your life on the line for your sister? Like, you know, so we just want to make sure like we're moving in that type of spirit, being a helper any way we can, like for real, helping out the ministry any way we can. You know, like I said, if you got a talent, using that for the nation, using that to provoke the works, using that to be profitable. And Priscilla and Aquila, man, they put their life down. Like they said, Paul said, "Who have for my life laid down their own necks." They put their life on the line. They was putting their life on the line for Paul. You know, so we just want to make sure we're moving in the spirit of our in these type of spirits. You know, we don't want to move in that spirit of Jezebel. We want to move in that spirit. Well, that ain't none of my business. You just got to figure it out. We just want to help, y'all. We want to genuinely help and be an assistant in any way we can. That's how we can stay on fire as women in this thing as well. You know, being a help, being an assistant, being an aid. I yield.
Shalom. It's Samara. Can y'all hear me?
Shalom, sis.
Shalom.
Fine. Shalom. I had a precept for like how it is for like when we do labor, like the reward of it. Of course, if we continue to endure. But it's Philippians chapter 4, verse 3. And it says, "And I entreat thee also, true yokefellow, help those women which labored with me in the gospel with Clement also, and with other my fellow laborers whose names are in the book of life." So I kind of with the precept that the sister just brought out, it says that help those women that labored with Paul, but also it said that those women that labored with Paul, their names are written in the book of life, which is mighty. So I just wanted to read that.
That's the spirit for sure, because I was literally looking at that precept. I was wondering, should I bring it out or not? So that's definitely the spirit. Definitely the spirit.
All praises.
All praises. But you know, we need to be striving to get our name in the book of life. And how do we do that? By staying on fire in this thing. We don't want to be idle. You know, Proverbs 31 women don't eat the bread of idleness. So
I have a precept.
bring it out.
So it's Sirach chapter 26. And I'll start at verse 14. So a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there's nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. A shamefaced, so actually, I'm gonna touch on that. So, and there's nothing much worth as a mind well instructed. So, like, in order to be on fire, we have to have our mind set upon the ordinances of the Most High Yahweh Shai, and also know what's required of us. One thing that I think the sister's name is Lily, that Mackenzie was showing us her video. She made a video how we need to be using our talents because we don't want those talents to be taken away from us now. But at the same time, if you don't know what your talent is or how to use it, that's something you got to pray for, because the Lord gave us like prayer for a reason, you know, and he already knows how we're going to use our talents. It's just all in his due time. And, you know, so we have to like use our talents, and then verse 15, a shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued. Mackenzie, do you think we can, or Abiria, do you think we can look up what continent means, or if anyone has a definition?
I got you, sis. It is my pleasure.
The water.
Don't mention it. These folks done said.
You said what? Oh.
Okay.
Oh, a continent. What the heck?
They
I think
put
we gotta go to the BLB.
it ain't in the BLB. The BLB don't got the apocrypha. Continent mind. Okay. They pulling up the. I don't want that. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna find it, Lord. We're gonna find it.
Yes.
In a continent manner. Okay, what is continent? Like, what does that mean? They talking about able to control wait a minute.
I'm pretty sure when they say that, they mean like being content.
I was thinking that. Okay, kind. They tripping on a Google, man.
Kind of trying to take you to geography.
Man, Lord ain't doing geography.
For real. But so let's say a content mind cannot be valued. Because we can't, as women in this truth, we can't, like, that brings up a good point. We can't just want more and more and more and more. You know, if anything, we should want to be doing the works of the Most High more and more and more and more. But like Mackenzie was saying, don't be too hard on yourself. Just keep praying that the Most High allows you to have that just balance, because like we got to be shamefaced too. And, you know, especially if you have a husband or if you're courting, like you shouldn't really be out here talking to men really in general. Like, I'm not saying if someone says hi to you, like, okay, but at the same time, like, we have to use wisdom. So, and a faithful woman is a double grace. So, you know, that's really all I wanted to say on that.
You yielding, sis? You yielding? Pass the torch. Fine, okay. Oh, that's the spirit is moving because something you said is something I was going to bring out. So I want to bring out a few things. But definitely, you know, just beautiful precepts she brought out. Beautiful. We want to be shamefacing this thing. And like she said, you know, we don't want to be too hard on ourselves. You know, we don't want to be too hard on ourselves. But best believe the Lord got you where He wants you. And best believe the Lord, you know, first of all, every single one of us got talents because we're the salt of the earth. Do y'all know who we are according to the Bible? We're the Israelites. We are the salt of the earth. We have talents. But if you have yet, if you don't know what yours is yet, you just got to pray on it. The Most High, everything is of the Lord. We got to remember that everything is preordained. Everything is ordered by the hand of the Lord. Everything's of the Lord. So the Most High will give you that talent when He says so. The Most High will put more on you to be a better woman when He says so. We just got to know the Most High got us where He wants us. He's dealing with us. All praise that He's dealing with us. But you know, if you don't know what your talent is yet, you got to pray on it. Like Matthew 7:7 say, ask and you shall receive. I want to get there real quick. So like if you're having trouble like knowing what your talent is, y'all definitely should go check out that video that Sister Lily dropped about hearkening to the Most High voice. And you know, use your talents before He take them, because we don't want our talents to be taken away. So this is the book of Matthew chapter 7:7. Ask and it shall be given you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be open. So we got to ask the Most High. Like I already said earlier, the Most High already know what we need, but the Most High want us to see if we're going to come to Him humbly and ask Him for it. And I also want to get something else, because sometimes we have a hard time hearing the Most High voice, and that just comes with prayer. You get what I'm saying? That just comes with prayer, because Job 33:14 say, Yahweh speaketh once, yet twice, but man perceiveth not. So perceiveth means just to understand, to recognize. So, you know, this is the book of Job chapter 33:14. For Yahweh speaketh one, yet twice, yet man perceiveth not. So perceive just means to understand, to recognize, stuff like that. So the Most High might be speaking to us, but we're not hearing His voice. So something we also want to make sure we're doing as women is praying that the Most High put the Spirit on us to obey His voice. The Most High put the Spirit on us to hear His voice, that whatever the Most High put on our spirit to do and say, that we do it. So we just want to make sure we're doing everything of the Lord, everything through the Spirit, and whatever the Most High wants us to do, and making sure, like I said earlier, walking in the Spirit of our foremothers, you know, walking in the commandments and the ordinances, being righteous and blameless as possible, as spoken of in the book of Luke chapter, I believe it's Luke chapter 1 and verse 5-6. So, you know, I want to make sure we're walking in the ordinances of the Lord. But something I also wanted to get out is 1 Corinthians chapter 12. Because we can also be on fire and women in this thing by, you know, we've already said giving good alms, but, you know, using your talents for the nation. we're gonna tap into some other things, but I want to get his first. So let me just start at verse 1. I'm skipping down. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant. So this is going into gifts, okay? Spiritual gifts the most I give us. We're gonna skip down to verse 8. For to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another the gifts of healing by the same Spirit, to another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discerning spirits, to another diverse kind of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues. But all these worketh that one and the self same Spirit, dividing to every man severally as he will. For as the body is one and have many members, and all the members of that one body being many are one body, so also is a Mashiach. So let me keep reading. For by one Spirit are we all baptized into one body, whether we be Jews or Gentiles, whether we be bond or free, and have been all made to drink into one Spirit. For body is not one member, but many. So we're all one body through Yahushua, but we're all different and have different talents and gifts. So like Aquila may have 7 talents, Kaya might have 10, I may have 1 strong one. You know, we're all different. We all have different talents and different gifts. So we want to make sure another way to be on fire in this thing is using our talents and gifts to provoke good works and to be profitable to the nation and help the ministry. If you know how to sew, you know, pray that the Most High put that spirit in you to make garments for the nation, to sew fringes on folks' clothes. And if you know how to cook, you know, especially as women, we're supposed to cook on the feast days. So every one of us should know how to cook. But if you know how to cook, most High willing, all of us do. Throw down in the kitchen on the feast days. If you know how to paint, shoot, you can sell paintings for the nation. Israelite paintings. If you're a writer like I am, shoot, start up a blog, write some books. We all have different talents, but you want to make sure you're using your talents to provoke good works and be profitable to the nation, because it's another way we can stay on fire and stay, helping out our nation as much as possible. Addicted to the ministry. Let me get that. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 15. I beseech you, brethren, ye know the house of Stephanus, that it is the first fruits of Achaia, and that they have addicted themselves to the ministry of the saints. So we got to addict ourselves to this ministry, be addicted to this ministry, always want, like Aquila said, being constant, because the Most High got all of us where he wants us, but, wanting to grow, wanting to self-expand, wanting to be better, and we need to addict ourselves to this ministry, help out the ministry as much as possible. But that's what I had, and I yield. Anybody have anything they want to bring out before I went to the next precept?
I think Fallon had something.
All right.
I didn't have anything to bring out.
I'm gonna grab some. Give me 1 second.
He was kept. I just saw you in the comments.
Oh, that was from earlier, but I didn't want to go all the way back and kind of backtrack too much.
It's on your screen to bring some out, sis. Bring it out.
Well, yeah, what were the point? Don't be shy.
I'm getting ready to get it right now.
I have a quick precept. In Luke chapter 1, I'll start at verse 5. It says, "There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias of the course of Abiah, and his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. And they were both righteous before Yahweh, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord blameless." So Elizabeth, John the Baptist, his mother, she was blameless in keeping all the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. So that's how we also have to be in these last days. We have to strive to be blameless, and strive to have a good name, and strive to continue to get those blots out of our spiritual garments.
I was
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
You're good. You can go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's the spirit because I brought that out earlier. So that's just the spirit moving in this thing. All praise to the Most High. But we definitely need to be like our righteous foremothers, walking in the commandments and ordinances of the Lord, being as blameless as righteous as possible in this thing. That's all I was gonna say. My bad. Go ahead.
You're good. So I have precept in Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 9 through 12, and it reads, "Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. Again, if two lie together, then they have heap. But how can one be one alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And threefold cord is not quickly broken. So I feel, but I brought that out. I like that because we were talking about uplifting one another, and that is definitely important. And it's true. We have to uplift each other because that's what we have this sisterhood for. So like if a sister is down and she needs somebody, then you should be there. But also, don't suffer alone. I would say, like, don't hold everything in. Like, you holding all that stuff in, all that stuff builds up and all them spirits build up on you. But like also to let a sister know if you're struggling, if you're going through it, so that way they can be a pillar of help to you. And I also have Hebrews 10, verse 24-25, and it reads, "And let us consider one another in order to stir up love and good works, not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together, as is the manner of some, but exhorting one another, and so much more, the more as you see the day approaching." So that's all I wanted to bring out.
We definitely want to make sure we're being like we just keep saying, like doing everything we can to help our sisters and uplift our sisters in this thing. But I wanted to touch on something real quick. I wanted to grab like 2 precepts and then I'm gonna yield. So let me get the book of Luke chapter 12 verse 35. Beautiful point, by the way, Fallon.
And all praises.
This is the book of Luke chapter 2 verse 35. "Let your loins be girded about and your lights burning." So as women in this thing, we want to gird up our loins, want to be on fire through the spirit, we want to gird up our loins. We want to create building blocks. Like this breakdown, I wrote, stay on fire, creating building blocks and not bucking up against our man. So another way for us women to stay on fire, we want to gird up our loins, we want to stay on fire through the spirit. We want to, and if you're a wife, you want to create building blocks for your man. And even if you're not married right now, you just want to create building blocks for the nation. Like you want to help the ministry as much as possible. But also, I'm going to tap on this real quick. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 18 and verse 1. And we're gonna also tap into we're gonna definitely tap into something else. What that was. Okay, it's the book of Genesis, chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 1. "And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day." I'm pretty sure all of us have read this before. This is basically going into Abraham and Sarah. Abraham asked her to do something, and she did it. No hesitation, no back talk, none of that. So we're gonna read this. He lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground and said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourself under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread and comfort you your hearts. After that ye shall pass on. For therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do as thou hast said. And Abraham hastened unto the tent of Sarah and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth. And Abraham ran unto the herd and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto the young man, and he hastened to dress it. So Sarah didn't say, Nigga, you make the bread. She didn't say, Nigga, well, I'm always the one cooking the food. You come make the bread. She didn't say no. She didn't do none of that. You know, as women, this thing, we already know we got to be submissive and obedient to our man. And we just make sure we got to do that, because we've been brainwashed and taught from the world, like all these off things that contrary to the law, contrary to the Most High and his commandments. And we have to be submissive and obedient. We're not supposed to buck up against our man and back talk. So if your man asks you to do something, you better do something. If your man say, Hey, we finna slide to the store, well, guess what you finna do? You finna slide to the store. You know, and I'm not saying like women don't have a voice. I'm not saying that women are doormats. I'm not saying that women are slaves, because we're not. Look, we're not. You know, you got a righteous man, he's gonna treat you right. We're not none of that. But we also have to understand and respect the role that the Most High has put in order. You know, we are the weaker vessels. We are the ones that have to be submissive. It's not he's submissive 50% and I submit 50%. It don't work like that. You're the submissive and we're supposed to be obedient. So we just got to understand the order and respect the order that the Most High made. We're not supposed to be bucking up against our men and talking crazy. You know, we're supposed to be like Sarah. She made that bread quick and she ain't had nothing to say about it. You know, we're not supposed to be like, Nigga, I get tired of fixing food for you. Won't you know how Evie, your hands worked on it. Like, we're not supposed to be like that. You know, so I just want to bring that out. It's definitely, as women in this thing, another way to stay on fire is just, you know, reverencing your husband, doing what you're supposed to do as a woman, as a wife. You know, if you're not married yet, you know, submitting yourself to the Most High. How about Shah? I yield, by the way. Passing the torch if anybody wants to say something.
And I have a precept on in the history of Susanna. There's only 1 chapter, so it's verse 23. And this is when the elders were in the garden with Susanna. They were like giving her ultimatum on what to do. Well, I'm gonna start at verse 20. It says, well, Salaki, verse 19. Now when the maids are going forth, the 2 elders rose up and ran unto her, saying, Behold, the garden doors are shut, that no man can see us, and we are in love with thee. Therefore consent unto us and lie with us. If thou wilt not, we will bear witness against thee that a young man was with thee, and therefore thou didst send away thy maids from thee. Then Susanna sighed and said, I am straitened on every side. For if I do this thing, it is that unto me, and if I do it not, I cannot escape your hands. It is better for me to fall into your hands and not do it than to sin in the sight of the Lord. So like with Susanna, she kept her integrity, which is how we also could be on fire for the Most High, you know, and standing up for this truth, and standing up for Yahweh Bash and Yahweh Shai, and staying true to us, and just making sure that, you know, we're living according to the word and not allowing anybody to come against us. But like the point with having integrity, just realizing that what also could help keep us on fire as women, and that could help us like not be idle, is realizing that the angels are literally watching us and writing down all our works, our actions, and our thoughts. So I just wanted to bring out Susanna about what, like having integrity, and just making sure that we're always doing right in the sight of the Most High, even if nobody is watching.
That's a mighty precept, it's mighty point, because it was I used to go to this school called A.Z. Kelly Elementary when I lived in Tennessee. And when you come down the stairs, there's a big poster, and I would see it. What is that? I would see it every time I came down the stairs, and it literally said what you just said. Do good when no one is watching. You know, so even when we think we're not being, like, you want to make sure you're serving the Lord and you going hard for the Lord, you're on fire even behind closed doors. You want to make sure you're doing the right thing even behind closed doors, because even when you think anybody watching, man, the Lord is watching. The angels are literally recording everything. And then in the end of Susanna, we already know that the Most High came through for her. She didn't give it to death. Why? Because she was serious about the Lord. She called upon the name of the Lord, and the Lord saw her. He saw that she didn't do no wrong. He saw that she was sincere in this thing. She saw that she was for real, so he came through for her. You know, she saw that she didn't lay down those men, so he came through for her. And that's how we got to be, like, you know, having integrity, doing the right thing regardless, you know, regardless. Even when we think nobody's watching, because the Lord is watching, we gotta know that let me get this. We already know that the Most High eyes is beholding everything. We already know that his eyes is 10,000 times brighter than the sun. This in Proverbs real quick before is it in 20? I don't know where it's at. I'm paraphrasing it. The book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 3. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. So, like, you know, the Most High eyes are everywhere. The Most High sees everything, and the angels record everything. So, like the sister Samara brought out, want to have that integrity and make sure we're doing the right thing for real. But I also wanted to bring out this real quick. Another way for us to stay on fire as women is to just we gotta watch our mouth. We have to watch our mouth. So let's get in this real quick. We need to watch our mouth. Definitely as women, we need to watch our mouth. It was on my spirit to talk about this. We gotta watch what comes out of our mouth, especially kind. So yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, this is the book of Sirach. I got that meat boy. If rehearse not, okay. He that can rule his tongue shall live without strife, and he that hateth babblings shall have less evil. So when you know how to rule your tongue and know when to shut up, you know, because we already know Ecclesiastes 3, really like 3 and 1, like down to 7. It's a time and place to speak. It's a time and place to be quiet. It's a time and place for everything. It's a time and season for everything. So when you know when to speak, when not to speak, when you know how to rule your tongue, you know, you live without strife. You know, strife meaning like, let's get into strife meaning anger or bitter disagreement. So you basically live without conflict. You know how to be quiet. But you know, he that hated babbling shall have less evil. So babbling means just, let's get into that real quick because I want to eat the whole. The action of fact of talking rapidly and continuously in a foolish way, murmuring. So basically just a whole bunch of talking, a whole bunch of backbiting, a whole bunch of gossiping, just keeping a mess. When you hate that, you're gonna have less evil in your life. So you basically have a peaceful life when you just shut your mouth, when you ain't telling folks business, when you ain't gossiping and stuff like that. Rehearse not unto another, but which is told unto thee, and thou shalt fare never the worst. So it's off to tell somebody business. We know this. So the way for us women, you know, just to make sure we're staying in line and being on fire in this thing, we don't want to gossip. That's a nasty spirit to have. Don't tell what somebody done told you in confidentiality. You don't go back and tell somebody else. You know, we're not supposed to rehearse at all. Whether it be to friend or foe, talk not of other men's lives, and thou cannot without offense reveal them not. So whether it's to your friend, whether it's to the person that they don't like them, don't be discussing their life. Girl, so yeah, Kaya called me and she told me that, you know, so and so and woo and da 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 da. You guys off. You're not supposed to be calling folks and talking about other men's life. Now, if you need counsel, let me tell you this. It's a thin line between seeking counsel and gossiping. There's a thin line between getting counsel on something and just going off and telling folk business and gossiping and murmuring and stuff like that and backbiting. You know, for he heard and reserved thee, and when the time cometh, he will hate thee. If thou hast heard a word, let it die with thee, and behold, it will not burst with thee. So if I was to tell Kiara something, and she went and told, and I'm not saying she would ever do this. I'm just it's an example, y'all. She would never do this. If I went and told Kiara something, right, and then she went and told Kaya, I'm going off rip know who did it because she's the only person I told. You know, and it says, for he heard and reserved thee, when that time cometh, he will hate thee. So now it's all types of madness and folly and vexation spirit going on because Kiara told my business to Kaya, and now I done heard about it, and I'm mad at Kiara. So we just want to make sure, and he will hate thee. And you don't want to call sin upon your sister, and now your sister hates you, and now she going off. because we're supposed to love one another. You don't went off and told her business. Now she going off because she mad at you, she holding a grudge. So to just to stay away from all that, to have as much peace as possible. Just shut your mouth. You know, as women in this thing, our second nature should be learned to be quiet. Just be quiet. That's another way we can stay on fire in this thing. Just be quiet. You ain't gotta have a response to everything. You ain't gotta respond to everything. You know, some of my mama always told me, because I had this problem growing up. I just didn't know how to shut up. I always had something to say. I was a back talker. I always had an attitude problem. All praise to Most High. He delivered me out of that. But something my mama always said was, everything that's said doesn't need a response. You know, sometimes the best response is silence. And a woman's second nature should be silence. And now that we're in this truth, we have this knowledge and understanding, we gotta learn to be quiet. So just to avoid all this contention and strife in our life, just be quiet. Everything don't need a response. Just shut up. Just be quiet. That's another example. Just be quiet. If it don't involve you, be quiet. If it ain't nothing positive, if you know the saying in the word, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say that. If it ain't nothing nice, righteous, be quiet. If the words, I'm gonna pray for the sister ain't coming out your mouth, and instead of, oh child, she what gonna do? Be quiet. If someone tell you something confidentiality, be quiet. If someone come tell you what's going, be quiet. You know, but it's a very thin line of seeking counsel and gossiping. So you just want to be very mindful in this thing as women. We just want to be very, very, very mindful of the things that come off our tongue, because we already know that the tongue has the power of life and death. So just as women in this thing, want to check ourselves. We can actually do another Bible study on this, really focusing on the topic of just making sure we're not gossiping and taming our mouth. We can go into that another lesson. We can say that, because we can go deep into that. But, you know, I just wanted to bring that out. Another way for us women to stay on fire this thing is just to be quiet. You know, that should be our second nature. Just be quiet. Be quiet sometimes. All the time. Be quiet. Like, don't be gossiping. Don't be telling folk business. Don't be doing none of that. Don't be babbling, nothing like that. So, are you?
That remind me of that scripture, Proverbs 11:13. A talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. And if you look up concealeth, it means to close. So it's not gonna go like the gospel isn't gonna go any further from that. What am I trying to say? Like, once you tell that person, like, it's not gonna go any further.
Why did I know you was gonna bring out a precept? I just knew it. I just knew it. I was like, she's gonna pull something. I just knew it. But like, once you like a talebearer revealing secrets, be he that is of a faithful spirit consider the matter. So it's sister that's really in the spirit, really keeping these laws, statutes, commandments, moving in the spirit of Yahweh by Shema Shah, and moving in the spirit of righteous foremothers. Because gossiping is that Jezebel spirit. So when you're really in the spirit for real, you ain't finna tell nobody business. You know, you conceal the matter. Meaning, ain't nobody finna know. Nobody finna know. And you should want to be a sister that's trustworthy. When someone tells you their business, she has trust you that you ain't gonna go babble and run your mouth about it. So that's just, we gotta be very cautious. We don't want to be the housewives of Israel. We don't want to be basketball wives of Israel. We don't want to be, and it's a precept. We don't want to be, nobody should have nothing evil to say about us. Nobody should say, oh, don't tell her nothing. She gossips, you know, but you know, we just want to make sure we're doing everything we can to be as righteous and blameless as possible in this thing. And continue to repent, continue to grow, continue to strive to be a better Israelite woman. But that's just another way we can stay on fire in this thing. Like, you know, checking our spirit for it, making sure we ain't got that gossip spirit and nothing like that.
Okay, I want to say something. In 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 5, it says, and besides this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience godliness, and to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness charity. For if these things be in you and abound, they make you that ye shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. So basically what that is saying is that we need to just have self-control, watch what we do and say, for the most part. That's it.
Definitely to watch what you say. I'm gonna get this. I'm in the book of Sabbath right now, and something. Give me 1 second, y'all. So so much I'm reading today. I'm gonna get this. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 8. And also, we already know that you are who you hang around. So if you want to really stay on fire, then you need to surround yourself with sisters that's doing the work to the Most High and being on fire themselves. So I'm gonna read this. Despise not the discourse of the wise, but acquaint thyself with their proverbs, for of them thou shalt learn instruction and how to serve great men with ease. So don't despise the congregation of the wise. Don't see a wise group of sisters be like, ugh, I don't want to be around them. Because you can learn something from those sisters. No, you can learn how they talk. A sister can teach you something. A sister can teach you how to be a better wife. A sister can teach you how to, be more submissive. That's what we're here for. That's what sisterhood is about, to teach one another something and to uplift one another. A sister can teach you how to have more faith. A sister can teach you how to go harder. That's what we're here for. So don't despise the discourse of the wise. Don't hate the congregation of wise sisters, because you could learn something from them. You could learn instruction, and you can learn how to serve great men with ease. You could learn to pick up on their talk, learn to talk more wise. So you don't want to you don't want to like despise and hate the discourse of the wise. You want to surround yourself with wise sisters, because they will definitely help you stay on spirit, and stay on fire. She might ask you, have you read today? She might ask you, need prayer. She's gonna build you up in these things. That's what you're supposed to do. And I want to get this. Sirach 9:15. Let thy talk be with the wise, and all thy communication in the law of the Most High. So I just want to make sure, like, we're talking with wise. So we want to surround ourselves with wise sisters, having wise communication, and allow our communication to be of the Most High. We don't want to have filthy conversation. We want to put off all that wrath and malice and stuff like that. And I also wanted to get this really quick. I think this is, let me see, hold on. I think it's 1 Thessalonians. No, it might be 2 Thessalonians 3. Okay. And if any man obey not our word by this apostle, note the man and have no company with him, that he may be ashamed. Yet count him not as an enemy, but admonish him as a brother. I thought it was a precept up here. It's like it. Okay, here it is right here. Now we command you, brethren, in the name of our Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, that you withdraw yourselves from every brother that walketh disorderly, and not after the tradition which ye have received of us. So the tradition is like keeping the law, statute, commandments, doing the works of the Most High. So basically, the Lord is telling us to separate those from that don't do the will of me, separate from those that are walking contrary to my law. And he's also saying, don't count him as an enemy, but love him as a brother. So don't separate yourself from sisters that's not doing the will of the Most High, but also love them. Also give them love. So we want to make sure that we're surrounding ourselves with wise sisters. We want to make sure we're surrounding ourselves with sisters that we can learn from, sisters that we can grow together, sister that's going to uplift you and you can uplift her. You just want to surround yourself around sisters that's really about their father's business and really about moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers, and focus on how they can stay on fire, how they can be on fire as a woman, because that sister is going to uplift you. You are who you hang around. We talked about this on our about you are who you hang around. So we just want to make sure, you're surrounding yourself around sisters that's like yourself, like you surround yourself around wise sisters, because that sister can really help, being around sisters that's in the spirit for real, being around sisters that's serious about the Most High, being around sisters that's serious about this walk. They're going to keep you on fire through the spirit. They're going to make sure you're good. And that's what we want in this thing. We're trying to grow in this thing. We're trying to get the kingdom together, Most High willing. We're trying to all be better servants, all be blameless as possible. So we want to make sure we're surrounding ourselves around sisters that can keep us on fire through the spirit,
Okay. And I have Romans 16, verse 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. Verse 18. For they that are such serve not our Lord Jesus Christ, but their own belly, and by good works and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. That was Romans 16, verse 17 and 18. So yes, basically what you just said. Huh? Romans 16, verse 17. And it was basically what you were saying about surrounding yourself around people not keeping the commandments, because they just gonna cause confusion, and they're not gonna have the same knowledge that we've been blessed with.
You know, definitely make sure you surround yourselves around sisters that's doing the will of the Most High, because if you're not, she ain't gonna do nothing but like cause, you know, it just brings division. It just bring, you know, I was on the phone with I was on the phone with someone, and something she said was, I was telling her how I don't got no friends at campus. I told her I got 2 friends, and one of them don't even live on campus, and one of them live in 204. But but one of them's in the truth, one of them not. And I'm trying to bring I ain't gonna get into all that. I ain't gonna get on that. Anyways, I'm just down topic. But anyways, I told her I really got no friends. She was like, well, I mean, that's a good thing, you know, that's what the Most High want for you. And you also gotta remember that you know, the more people you have around, just the more spirits you gotta deal with. And I was like, dang, I never think of it like that. And she was right. And she was like, the more people you gotta deal with, that's the most spirits you got. The more worldly friends you have, the more people you have around, that's the more spirits you gotta deal with. Especially if you're hanging around a whole bunch of worldly people, that is just gonna bring up a divisions, you know. And then you're gonna start watching all types of stuff, you know, you're gonna Google how to be blameless. What did you Google that for? And it's in the 1611. So, you know, we just wanna be mindful of this thing. So, you know, I yield.
I had a precept. Wait, hold on one second. I had a precept in Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20, just about like why we should be around wise sisters. It says, "He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed." It's like, yeah, like as it says in Sirach chapter 13, all flesh consorteth to his kind. And also there's another verse in Sirach chapter 6 where it says, as his friend shall be, so as his friend is, so shall, I'm messing it up, but it just really talks about like you know, whoever you're around, that's how you'll be. So like that's why it's important for us to be around sisters that are on fire, and you know, that are real mighty and go hard in this truth, and that spirit will hop on us as well, you know.
What was that precept we just put in Proverbs?
Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20.
And that's the spirit, because I was gonna pull that Sirach precept, but I'm still gonna pull it. That's a mighty precept.
Kind.
Yeah, the precept she pulled, y'all, is Proverbs 13 and 20. Beautiful point, sis. Beautiful point. You know, you are who you hang around. I'm finna get that precept she just pulled. The mighty sister right there, y'all. Don't play with her. She's not one of them. What was it, sis? Oh, you can't hate it. So, let me just keep going. It's a book of Sirach chapter 13, verse 15. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. All flesh according to kind, and a man will please to his like. But fellowship have the wolf with the lambs, the sinner with the godly. We already know that the sinner is set against the godly, and the spirit is versus the flesh. We know these things. So, you know, let me go back to it. I don't want to be hasty. But you know, you clean to your light. You know, you clean to your light. So if you're a gossiping sister, you're gonna be around gossiping sisters. You know the saying in the world, birds of a feather flock together. You know, if you're a sister that be talking about folks, you're gonna be around that type of sister that talk about folks. If you're a sister that keep a mess, you're gonna be around sisters that keep a mess. So I just want to make sure you checking your spirit. Moving in the spirit of righteous formulas, making sure you're really on fire in this thing, and checking your spirit, making sure you're doing everything you can to be as righteous and blameless as possible. You know, making sure you're surrounding yourself around wise sisters, because like the sister just brought out Samara, you know, if you're walking around, if you with wise sisters, you're gonna be wise. You know, you clean to your light. So you just want to make sure you're being very mindful of the company you keep, because the Most High has blessed us with one another for a reason. The Most High has blessed us with this Yahweh sisterhood through the Spirit for a reason. So we got to make sure we're holding each other accountable. We got to make sure we're checking each other, we're building each other up in this thing. That's what the Most High has placed us for. So you want to make sure you're around wise sister, because that sister can really build you up. That's what it's here for. There's only 2 types of people that hinder your growth or help you grow. And we want to be around sisters that help us grow. So that sister can really build you up in the spirit, help you stay on fire through the spirit, as she should. You know, so I just wanted to get that. I don't know if I had something
Did you
else.
read Salakia? Did you keep reading when it's talking about the wolf and the lamb and the hyena and the dog?
What I didn't read verse 18. What agreement is there between the hyena and a dog, and what peace between the rich and the poor? So like a wolf not gonna kick it with a lamb, and a bird not gonna kick it with a lion. A snake not finna go kick it with a turtle. Like it just don't work. It'll eat the turtle, but then they're gonna kick it with it. So we just want to make sure like Like, and there's no agreement between the hyena and the dog, and there's no peace between the rich and the poor, because the rich put themselves on this type of pedestal like they're better, and the poor really got it like that. And so there's no peace between them, because the rich always gonna try to bring up money. Oh, I got this. And there's no agreement between the hyena and the dog, because the hyena trying to eat the dog up. And that's how the sinner is. The sinner gonna eat you up. If you hang around all these sinners, you're gonna get ate up. So we want to be mindful of the company you keep. And I want to, what's that person I was gonna pull? Yes, it's this right here. Let me get this real quick. No, let me just get this in mind. The book of Sirach, chapter 33 and 14. I also wanted to get something else real quick. And it reads, good is set against evil and life against death, so is the godly against the sinner and the sinner against the godly. So I just want to steer away from like people that really don't care too much about the Lord. Like, and if you have a worldly friend, you should be trying to be a light to her. You know, you shouldn't be indulging in unrighteous conversation. You shouldn't be indulging in unrighteous acts. Anything, you should be being a light and trying to edify her through the spirit. But y'all shouldn't be doing wicked acts together, because sinner against the godly, you want to protect your spirit at all costs. You want to protect your spirit at all costs, because these demons be hopping. They be hopping. And you know, like there's no peace between the hyena and the dog, because the hyena is gonna eat you up. A hyena gonna eat you. A hyena gonna eat the dog up, and that's how it is with when you're around all these wicked people. Say for instance, your whole friend group is number wickedness. Say for instance, you go to a party. Lord forbid y'all going to parties, but this book is Sirach, chapter 21, verse 2. Flee from sin is from the face of a serpent. If thou comest too near, it will bite thee. The teeth thereof are as the teeth of a lion, slaying the souls of men. I don't know what I'm saying. But you want to flee from sin as the face of a serpent, or it's gonna bite you. So if you go to a party and you're around a number of worldly people, sis, your house free, but you might slip up. You might fall in that trap, because if the Lord commanded you to flee from sin, then flee from sin, or it's gonna bite you. You done got too near it. Now you're in this room with all these other people. It's gonna eat you up, because the sinner is set against the godly. The sinner don't care nothing about the Most High and His laws, such commandments. The sinner is set against the godly. So when you putting yourself in predicaments where you're around number worthy people, when you're around sisters that's not on fire for the Lord, you're around sisters that's not keeping laws, such commandments, you getting too close to sin, it's gonna bite you. And ain't nobody gonna pity you. Nobody's gonna pity you. And you know, that's a precept of Sirach, who will pity a charmer. Ain't nobody gonna pity you, because since you knew better, you knew what people were supposed to be around them. The Lord commanded us to stay away from them. The Lord commanded us to not get too close to sin. He told us to flee from sin. You know, and if you get too near, it's gonna bite you. So you just gotta be very mindful of the company you keep, because you want to be around righteous sisters that's doing the will of the Most High, you want to be around righteous sisters that's keeping His laws, statutes, commandments, trying to be on fire in this thing as women. You want to be around sisters that's doing the will of the Father, so they can build you up in this thing. Because if you're not, you surround yourself around the opposite of that, they're gonna bite you. They're gonna eat you up every time, because the sinner is set against the godly. They're gonna eat you up every time. There's no peace between the sinner and the godly. There's no peace between the hyena and the dog. So let me get this last piece real quick. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that has been with the serpent, or any such as come not wild peace? So nobody's gonna pity you, because you knew better. So I just want to be very mindful of the company you keep. And a way to help you stay on fire in this thing as a woman is to hang around sisters that are doing the will of the Most High. Because I'm gonna always say it, Romans 9:6, everybody is Israel, not Israel. Just because she got all praise to the Most High on her bio, she got on her hair up and fringe, it don't mean nothing. We're supposed to prove a friend, not be hasty to credit them and try their spirit. You want to prove a friend and not be hasty to credit them. So you want to be very mindful of the company you keep and the type of spirits you allow around in your energy, and the type of people you allow around you, for real, because you just want to be very mindful, you know, because the type of people you hang around, they can, like I said, there's only two types of people that hinder your growth and help your growth. You want to be around sisters that's helping you stay on fire in this thing, that's building you up, that's praying for you, is asking if you need anything, you know. And you don't always want to be that sister that always call. You don't always want to be the sister that's always, you know, we're here for each other. You can call me anytime. But you check on that sister as well. You always calling her with your problems, but do you ever want to stop and ask the sister, does she need anything? Do you ever want to stop and ask the sister, hey, do you need me to pray for you? Do you ever want to stop and ask the sister, what's going on with you? You need counsel? We want to check our spirit. You don't want to be that sister that's always the one calling, girl, I need counsel. Girl, have you once stopped and thought about what the sister might be going through? Have you once thought about, do she might need anything? So we just want to be the best sister we can in this thing. And that's another way for stay on fire, just helping out our sisters as much as possible. We can't go on the highways and byways. The role of a man and the role of a woman is different. And we know what's required of us biblically as a woman, so we got to do that. So I yield.
Khan, I have a precept. Oh wait, you were just going. Okay, Khan. It's Sirach chapter 27, verse 12. And it says, if thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time, but be continually among men of understanding. So like Khan, like a person that could be indiscreet is one that doesn't have the knowledge of this truth. And like whenever we're around them, we have to observe the time. Like whenever we're around sinners, we have to make sure we're not around them for too long. Because if you are, whatever spirits are on them, could hop on you, or whatever folly they're into, you can end up falling into it. So you just have to make sure that you're just watching how long you're around them. And like it says in the second part, but be continually among men of understanding. You always want to be around righteous sisters that are truly striving, that'll keep you on fire.
I want to add on to that. So on 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33, it says, be not deceived, evil communications corrupt good manners. So basically, that adds on to what y'all were just saying about watching out who you hang around, because their spirit could hop onto you and you could start acting like them and they could ruin your spirit.
Mighty precepts.
Mighty precept, like, well, I got this broke down to me once, watch your video. Evil communications is anything that's contrary to the law. Anything that's not the law, such commandments. Anything that's not the law, such commandments is Satan, period. So be not deceived, evil communications corrupt good manners. So if you're hanging around folks that's not keeping the law, such commandments, if you're hanging around sisters that don't care about the works of the Lord, if you're hanging around sisters that's just wilding, they're gonna corrupt you. Because evil communication corrupts a good righteous woman. Evil communication corrupt a good righteous woman. So you just want to make sure you're mindful, you're being very mindful of the company you keep. I just want to bite off that mighty precepts. Did anybody have anything they want to add?
I just have one more precept. In Sirach chapter 6, it's verse 34 through 37. Well, Salakia, verse 34 to 36. But it says, stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. If thou seest the man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. So like when it says stand in the multitude of elders, it could be actual elders. Well, I mean, it could also be sisters, that are ordered through the spirit as well. So that just also goes into like being around other wise sisters that are sisters that have more wisdom than you, sisters that have been enduring and striving longer than you. And if you find a sister that has a lot of understanding, a sister that's mighty, a sister that's Proverbs 31 woman, you always want to be around her so you can learn from her and be like her in righteousness.
That remind me of this precept, Proverbs 24:6. No, Proverbs 19 and 20, Salakia. 19 and 20. And it reads, hear counsel and receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in thy later end.
What was that? Proverbs 19 and what?
20. And I have one more. Well, actually, no, I just have one more. Proverbs 12 and 15. And it reads, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. That's Proverbs 12 and 15.
Power con.
So beautiful precepts y'all are bringing out. Beautiful precepts. I'm gonna flip through and see if I have anything else. But also, like, I also did post a video on my YouTube a while back. Y'all should check out. It's kind of going into what we're talking about. Let me. Also, I uploaded all of our Bible studies so far, but let me. Okay, it was this video right here. Let's discuss our foremothers. We need to be moving in their spirit, and the spirit they was. I said period, but we need to be. Y'all should check that video out because that's what we're talking about now. Like, how to be on fire as women, and that's why the Most High has put these scripts here for our learning. The Most High has gave us these scripts to comfort one another. I mean, so like these scripts are here to comfort us, and these scripts are good for our learning. So we got to know that these scripts is good for edification, and just know that what's that precept? Everything here is for our learning. So the Most High have gave us righteous women and unrighteous women to look at. He's gave us the scriptures of our righteous foremothers, so we know how to move, and he gave us Jezebel and stuff like that, so we know how not to move. Everything the Most High has set up is for our learning. Everything we go through, every trial and tribulation is for our learning. All these scripts is for our learning on how to move and how not to move. So, okay. So this is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 12, verse 9. Therefore, we also, albeit we need none of these things, for that we have the holy book of scripture in our hands to comfort us. So these scripts are here to comfort us. These scripts are here for our edification. Everything we have here is for our learning. So the Most High has blessed us with this knowledge of understanding this milk. So we have knowledge of the scripture, and we know how to move and how not to move. The Most High has blessed us with these scripts, so we know the spirit our foremothers was moving in, our righteous foremothers, so we can move in their spirit and take after them. The Most High has blessed us with this script, so we can read about Miriam. We can read about all these. We can read about all these women. So I just wanted to bring that out real quick, and I yield. I'm gonna bring something else out real quick. I don't know why I keep doing that. I don't like that. This is the book of Mark, chapter 5, verse 25. And a certain woman which had an issue of blood 12 years, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing better, but rather grew worse. When she had heard of Yahushua, came and pressed behind and touched his garment. For she said, if I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole. And straightway the And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. And Yahushua, immediately knowing in himself that virtue had gone out of him, turned about him and pressed and said, who touched my clothes? So she was so faithful. She had so much faith that, so like, let me fix my screen. Why is it doing that? Like that. I'll just do this. She has so much faith. She believed if I simply touch his garments, I will be healed. Yeah, that's the type of spirit we need to be moving in. That's the type of spirit we need to be moving in. And I don't even know if this one was Israel. I'm not sure, so I'm just gonna close my mouth on that. But that's the type of spirit we need to be moving in. She had like, and when it says issue of blood, 12 years, y'all, she had a period for 12 years straight. Y'all, 12 years straight. Like, y'all imagine having a period for 12 years straight, and all of y'all know how painful our periods be. All of y'all know that. I know, like, she was in pain, but she had faith, like, if I touch his garments, I shall be healed. And that's the type of faith we should be having. That the Most High, how about your mouth is gonna come through for us, gonna heal us. You know, we need to be having that type of faith, for real, for real. And y'all, that's some beautiful faith right there. And that's another way we can fire this thing, having faith in the Lord. Because you gotta know Hebrews 11:6. It's impossible to please the Most High without faith. So we gotta do better with having faith in the Lord and accounting it joy, because everybody in the Bible went through it. Our Savior, Yahushua, went through it. How much more us? We're not greater than our Master. So we gotta know that we're gonna go through it. We're gonna catch it. We gotta count it joy. We gotta count this thing joy for real. But y'all, she had a period 12 years straight, and she was like, if I touch his garments, I'm gonna be made whole. That's the type of faith we need to have. We need to have that type of faith. And we know in Sirach 26, a faithful woman is a gift of the Lord. We need to be faithful women in this thing. It's another way we stay on fire, having that faith. And like Aquila said earlier, if you lack in something, pray to the Most High about it. Matthew 7:7, you gotta ask and you shall receive. Like she brought out in Hebrews, and so like in James, we gotta have faith in our prayers. We can't have that wavering faith, that unbelieving. We gotta have faith in our prayers and know that Most High willing, the Most High gonna provide us with that. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace. Her content mind cannot be valued. So a faithful woman is a double grace. That's a blessing. So we gotta be faithful in this thing, having faith in the Lord. Having faith that the Most High will always restore us, always bring us back, always heal us, and things of that nature. I yield. Did anybody have anything they want to add? Anything they wanted to say?
Kwam Yasharallah.
You're funny. You're funny.
You is goofy.
Kwam Yasharallah.
That's right. She was good. She said Kwame was wrong. But let me make sure I ain't got nothing else. This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 10. Huh?
Okay, go ahead.
Well, reported of for good works, if she have brought up children, if she have lodged strangers, if she have washed the saints' feet, if she have relieved the afflicted, if she have diligently followed every good work. This is the type of spirit we need to be moving in, bringing up the children in righteousness, not teaching the children no foolishness, because we already know Proverbs, train up a child in the way they should go, they ain't gonna depart from it. So we already know that kids really pick up on actions. So if you can tell a kid something, but if they see you do it, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, so it's cool for me to do it. So to make sure you're bringing up the children in righteousness, in the law, statutes, commandments, teaching your kids right from wrong. We don't want to have that outer spirit. We're not teaching our kids. So we want to teach our kids, watching, doing good works. Like if she have relieved the afflicted, if she have diligently followed every good work. So this type of spirit we need to move in, doing good works. That's another way we can stay on fire. It's fire in this thing as women, doing good works for real, we kind of had that. So Kai, was you gonna say something?
I was gonna bring out a precept.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Haggai, chapter 1, verse 5 and 6. And it reads, Now therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is no one warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into bag with holes. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. So I brought that out just to pertain to the topic of staying on fire as a woman. We got to make sure that we're examining ourselves constantly, considering our ways. And because we already know, like, we reap what we sow in this thing. So we need to make sure we're sowing good works. So we got to make sure that we're bringing in much and that it's not in vain and that we're really being sincere in all things that we do, because we can be trying to be having the wrong intentions and trying to be going hard for the Lord instead of being in sincerity. And cause of that, and the effect of that, we can get nothing in return because we're not having those right intentions along with it. Because we can have good works and do everything we think we're supposed to do, but it's all about the spirit at the end of the day. So we got to make sure that we're examining ourselves while we're trying to stay on fire.
That's a mighty sister, y'all. Kaya's a mighty sister. That's a beautiful point you brought out. Because we want to consider our ways, self-examine and see, like I said earlier, ask yourself, how can I be a better wife if you're a wife? How can I submit myself to the Most High? How about Shah more better? How can I be a better servant unto my sisters? How can I help the nation more? How can I use my talents for the nation? How can I pray more? How can I go hard in this area? You want to self-examine yourself, you know? And like Kaya said, we reap what we sow. So this is the book of 2 Thessalonians 3 and 10. For even when we were with you, this we commanded you that any would not work, this you eat. So if you're not doing the work to the Most High, then you're not going to grow. Like we brought out in SRX 34:9 precept, you know, how you going to learn if you've never been through none? So if you're not doing the works and you're not in this spirit and in this script, studying, exhortating daily, then how you gonna grow? How is your spirit going to eat? If you're not doing this work and serious about the Most High, how about Shemashah? You're not doing the works and studying and applying script to your life, then how are you going to eat? How's your spirit going to eat? How's your spirit going to grow? It's not, because you ain't doing the work. So we want to make sure we're on fire in this thing and doing the works. Also, I wanted to bring out one more precept. Look at Acts chapter 21 and verse 8. And the next day that we were of Paul's company departed and came unto Caesarea, and we entered into the house of Philip the evangelist, which was one of the 7, and abode with him. And same man had 4 daughters, virgins, which did prophesy. And as we tarried there many days, there came down from Judah a certain prophet named Abagus. So these women were prophets, you know, they were prophetess. They used their spirits, they used their talents that the Most High put in their spirit for the nation and prophesied. So whatever talent the Most High give you, because we all got different talents and spiritual gifts in this thing, you want to use them for the nation. You want to make sure you use them to do profitable good works, you know, provoking good works and helping out your nation in any way you can. So I just wanted to bring that out. You know, also cooking for the feast days, you know, cooking, you know, just doing everything you can to be a better woman in this thing, be a better servant the Most High. How about Shemashah? Because like I said, we've been brainwashed to think that there's a way. Esau has his agenda. We know that. So Esau has pushed on our people and destroyed our women, destroyed our people on, you know, telling us act like this. You know, there's this how you need to act. So we've been brainwashed and thought that, you know, we've been taught the way a woman should act. And now that we've come into this truth and received the knowledge and understanding, there's newborn babes in this thing, as First Peter says, you know, which I'm going to get to, like, y'all, I don't know what's going on with my voice, but we've come into this truth and received this knowledge and understanding and has this milk now. We know that how a woman should act according to the script. We know that how a woman should carry herself according to the Most High, how Shah. We know how a woman's supposed to act and carry herself. So we're supposed to be doing that, you know. We're doing everything we can to be a better woman, for real. I'm gonna get this real quick and then I yield, for real. I'm sorry. All right, so this is the book of 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 1 and 2. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and evil speakings, as newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. So we're newborn babes in this thing, you know. You know, we're designed. Oh, I want to get another precept. But you know, we're newborn babies, and we got this sincere milk. We got this knowledge and understanding now. So we just got to continue to, like y'all, just continue to strive to be better in this thing, putting off all the old things that you used to do in the world, laying aside all the malice, laying aside the evil speakers and the envies. You know, you want to put all that away. You want to put away all the worldly things you used to do because you're a new woman in this thing now. You're a new woman through Hamashiach. You're a new woman through the Spirit. So you just want to put away all the old things you used to do, all the old tricks you used to have, and put on, you know, this new woman in Hamashiach. You want to put on this new righteousness. I wanted to get this real quick, and then I yield for. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 9, and verse 16. No man put a piece of new cloth unto the old garment, for that which is put in to fill it up, taken from the garment, and the rent is made worse. Neither do men put new wine into old bottles, else the bottles break and the wine runneth out, and the bottles perish. But they put new wine into new bottles and preserved. So ain't nobody putting new wine into no old bottle. Ain't nobody going to get the fresh wine off the shelf, the new expensive wine, and put it into an old bottle. They're gonna put it into a new beautiful bottle. So now that ain't nobody finna go put new cloth into old garments. So now we're new women in this thing. We're not finna go tapping into our old ways and putting on our new self. So we want to stay on fire as much as possible. We're not finna be going back into the world, tapping into the things we used to do, and putting on our new self, putting on this new righteous woman that you are. So we just gotta stay on fire in this thing consistently, day in, day out, being steadfast, unmovable, as Paul spoke of in Corinthians. Like, you're not finna tap back into the world, tap into the folly you used to do, your ignorant, nasty, fulfilling lust things you used to do, and put it on the new woman that you are. So I just want to bring that out. I got one more, and then I yield for real. It's like, y'all, it's the Spirit. Can't quench the Spirit. I think I'm done after this. So this is the book of Titus, chapter 3 and verse 3 through 5. And for we ourselves also were sometimes foolish, disobedient, deceived, serving givers lust and pleasures, living in malice and envy, hateful and hating one another. But after the kindness and love of Yahweh, our Savior, toward man appeared, not by works of righteousness, which we have done, but according to his mercy, he has saved us by the washing of regeneration and renewal of the Holy Spirit. So we all used to be ignorant. Ignorant just means not knowing. We all used to fulfill the lust of our flesh. We all used to hate one another. We all used to be disobedient to the Most High. How about Shemashah? We've all hurt his feelings. We've all been foolish. But now we're new to the Spirit. We're new women in this thing. So we want to make sure we're walking in that new woman as much as possible. You don't want to keep tapping back into the world. You don't want to put your hand to the plow and continue to look back. So you just want to continue to walk in this new woman that you're in, walking in the Spirit as much as possible, walking in the ordinance of the Lord. Aquila, is you sleep? Because when Aquila cut the camera off, she might be passed out. But I yield for this time. All praises, sis. Such as they're knocked out.
Oh, praises to the Most High.
Is your Sabbath open?
Con.
Dang, Sabbath going so quick.
Depression.
For real, like mine's gonna end in like 20 minutes. I'm gonna cry. But I think I had one more precept I wanted to pull out, and then I'm gonna let y'all have it. I feel like I talk too much, y'all. I'm sorry.
La Asa, that's the Spirit of the Most High.
That's right.
That's right.
What precept am I looking for? Y'all, what's that precept about putting on the new righteousness? The new righteous, putting on that new armor of righteousness. It's in the New Testament. I mean, yeah, it's in the New Testament.
There's some on Ephesians 6.
I think I might be. Wait a minute. What is this? It's madness. What are you doing with that on the Sabbath?
On Ephesians 6 and like 12. No, not 12. A little after 12. Yeah, 13.
I don't know if that's what you wanted, so.
Is it Ephesians 4, verse 22? And Salaki, I gotta go. I'm getting another call, but I love y'all in the water for allowing me to
That is
join.
it, the water. And
Love you, sis.
we love
I
you.
love y'all too.
Shalom.
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 All right, that was the script, my sister. So that ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on that new man, which after Yahweh is created in righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members of one another. So, we got to put on this new woman in this thing. And this new woman in this thing, we need to be on fire. This new woman in this thing, we need to be submitted to the Most High by Shema Shai. This new woman in this thing, need to be keeping law, statute, commandments. This new woman in this thing should be giving good alms, good works. Don't keep tapping into that old man. That's the old man for a reason. And so we fall short, we slip up. But you want to make sure walking in this new woman in the spirit of Most High by Shema Shai as much as possible. Quit tapping into the old woman you used to be. You're not that woman anymore. You're a new woman in this thing. So we want to make sure we're walking in the spirit as much as possible, self-examining, moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers as much as possible. And then this is the book of 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if any man be in Hamashiach, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. So old things are passed away. We're a new woman in this thing. So we want to act like a new woman. Now that we have this knowledge and understand this milk, we know what's required of us as women. We know how women are supposed to act. We need to carry ourselves as such and act like that. Walk in the spirit and be on fire in this thing. So that's all I got. I yield. I'm giving the flow. If you have anything to say, please say it.
I just love y'all so much. So much. Mighty sisters. So mighty. Some of the mightiest I know.
That's right.
I love y'all more. Okay, I'm gonna get one precept to end it off then. This is the book of Revelations 3:3. Remember, therefore, how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If definitely, it's like it. Remember, therefore, how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come upon thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. So we already know we don't know the hour of the day that Yahweh is going to return. But you don't want the Most High to blow your candlestick out. So I just want to make sure we're doing everything we can to strive to be as righteous as possible, stand on fire in this thing, because we don't want to get sifted out. We don't want to be shook when Yahweh come back, because we knew he was coming back. We knew the prophecies, we knew what was unfolding in front of us. So we'll make sure we're on fire and building ourselves up in the spirit and taking heed and doing the work. This is the book of Revelation chapter 2, verse 5. Remember, therefore, from whence thou art fallen, and repent and do the first works, or else I will come unto thee quickly and remove thy candlestick out of his place, except thou repent. So we want to get back to doing the first works. Self-examine and see how you was on fire when you first found out about the truth. See how you was doing the works for real, and how you was steadfast in this thing. You just want to make sure you self-examine and seeing how you can be a better woman. You want to get back to your first works and see how you was really on fire for the Lord when you first came in. See how you was really about your Father's business when you first came in. You want to get back to those first works. You just want to make sure you're doing everything you can to be as righteous as possible, as blameless as possible, moving in the spirit of our foremothers, striving to be a better servant, striving to be a better Israelite woman in this thing. So the Most High don't blow your candlestick out. We ain't trying to get sifted out this thing. So that's all I had to say. I yield for the day. If anyone have anything to say, the torch is yours, the floor is yours. And that was just my closing precepts.
Shalom, sister. This is Nadia. I was just coming to say, I know I came late, but I'm still glad I'm able to, get the word and stuff like that. I felt in the spirit, and that's all I really wanted to say.
What up, sis? All praises you joined. I'm glad to see you on here. I'm glad that what is? But all praise to the Most High. I'm glad you joined, and Lord willing, this is a very edifying Bible study for all of us, because I definitely needed it. Definitely cut myself up. Spirit kind of feeling a little cut over here. So
And all praises to the Most High. This was a mighty lesson to the Spirit.
So mighty. All praise to the Most High.
Well, if anyone didn't have anything else to say, Most High willing, y'all, I had a beautiful Shabbat. My Shabbat's still going. It's actually going to end in a few minutes. So sad. But, I really do love these Bible studies. And Most High willing, we can keep this going. In my bio, I have a link tree. And if you click the link tree, I have my YouTube link for the sisters. I have the Sabbath link for the Bible study. I have the Tuesday night Bible study. Every Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Central Time, we will be on Zoom. It's the same link every Sabbath, Most High willing. I made the Zoom link where it's reoccurring, so it's the same link. All you gotta do is click on it and it'll take you right there. Same for the Tuesday one, reoccurring link. So it's the same link every Tuesday. It's the same link for every Saturday. So every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, we'll do a Bible study, and then because we need one throughout the week, and then every Saturday, Most High willing, we'll do a Bible study. So all the links, everything you need, all the links are in my bio. And y'all already know, if y'all need anything, reach out. I am taking a few days to myself though, but even still, if you need something, just call me. I still been calling folks. If you need anything, call me. You already know I don't be on Instagram like that. So Instagram is one of the worst places to reach me. I will not respond until a few days later. I do not be on social media at all. So if you need anything, the best way to reach out is my number. If you don't got my number, you need it, let me know. But most of it is edifying. I love y'all so much. Just continue to strive to be moving in the spirit of righteous formula as much as possible. And just continue to self-examine yourself to see how you can be a better daughter of Zion, see how you can be a better wife if you're a wife, see how you can be a better, just a better servant, how you can help the ministry more. Just self-examine and just see how you can just go hard and be better in this thing. Just continue to endure, just continue to, magnify the name of the Lord and exalt him. We got the Day of Atonement coming up. So, let's get ready for that. And, Most High willing, y'all all enduring in this thing. Let's just continue to fight these spiritual demons together, because they out here moving. We just got to gird up our loins and continue to endure. So that's all I had to say. I love y'all dearly. I love y'all so much. And just continue to remember that you're not better than the sister just because she's in the world. And, if there's a sister in the truth or in the world and she's not treating you with love and respect, still treat her with love and respect. The Most High told us, Habashah told us to pray for those that hated us and despised us, Matthew 5:44. So, just make sure you're not repenting evil with evil and loving your people, So just continue to just be as blameless as possible in this thing. And Shabbat Shalom. That's all I had. I love y'all. So if anybody want to say something.
It's Shabbat Shalom. Keep enduring, sisters. If you need anything, text my Instagram if you don't have my number. But like Mackenzie said, I'm the same way. I don't really be on Instagram either. So, if you want it right now, you don't got it, just ask me in the chat. But just keep enduring and fight the good fight as good soldiers of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. But Shabbat Shalom. Or Shalom, because my Shabbat's over.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Wait, before y'all go, hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Tuesday night Bible study. I don't know if I got everybody's prayer request. I know. I'm gonna check real quick. Don't go nowhere. Wait a minute, y'all. I need y'all prayer requests if I ain't got it already. And if you got a different one, just text it to me. But hold on, don't go nowhere. Wait a minute. It ain't in here. Hold on. Bear with me. It ain't in there. Please bear with me. Okay, Kiaria, I need your prayer requests. And Asia, I need your prayer requests. And Ayana, I need your prayer requests. I got everybody else's. No, we need our sisters to pray for us in this thing, because boy, do I need it. I'm gonna drop mine. Shoot, wait a minute.
That's
Please,
right. Drop it.
please pray that I continue to endure the will of the Most High to whatever He calls me to do. He put the Spirit on me and all trust in Him and the Spirit of our righteous foremothers and obey His voice just for endurance. So put up a better fight when better in these spiritual things. That's my prayer request. I would love if y'all pray for me. I know these folks been dipping out and ain't got their prayer request yet. Wait a minute now. I will track you down. Don't leave. I need the prayer request. Kiaria.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you bump the shot?
Yeah.
Can you?
What do you mean by that?
Like, do you need a prayer request? Like, what do you need prayer for?
Oh, I gotta think about that.
Well, just let me know. You got my number.
Okay.
So, Wada, Asia, I'm writing it down right now. Shalom, sis, and don't mention it, Barakatah. Okay. Sis Ayana. Sis, can you show your face? Like, we ain't heard from you all night. Let us get to know you, sis. But I got everybody else's prayer requests. I just need Ayana's and Kiaria. You can just think about it and text it to me. I'm just trying to pray for my sisters, man. We need it. I got everybody else's though. Where's Ayana? I'm putting you on spot, sis. We want to talk. Don't be shy.
Don't be scared.
Don't be shy.
We love you.
We really do love.
We want to see that pretty face.
Come on, sister.
Come on, sister.
But Khan, so I love y'all so much. I dropped my phone number for anyone that didn't have it, so y'all can text me your prayer requests. If y'all need anything, just reach out. And I love y'all. Keep enduring. With that, shalom. Come on, Nasrallah.
And with that,
Judah. Shalom, sisters. Beautiful call. All praise to the Most High. Definitely a lot of cuts, but it was well made. All praises to the Father, Yehovah.
like you haven't talked to me all day. That's what I'm feeling like.
Wait, what you say?
I said I'm feeling very much neglected from you, Miss Fallon.
I apologize, Lakia. I will definitely